Good morning, Mark. Good morning, Lisa. So let's talk about that, Mark. I don't disagree with you. Technically, it's never too cold, but it's 21 here, and I guess I worry more about something freezing up on the boat. You know, especially for lack of a better term, pee hole. I worry about getting out there. Um, you're not running the motor for long periods of time. Then you go to start it back up, and something's frozen. I've always kind of went under the belief that once it gets high to mid 20s, I don't feel real comfortable launching the boat. I'd like to hear some other thoughts. 18 here. Yeah, it's like Tully and I woke up. We were going to go this morning. Greenwell was going to go, but he canceled last night. Plus, he also said that, I just got my coffee. That's why I was a little bit late starting. I figured, nobody's live. We're not going to go fishing because it's just too dag blasted cold. So let's sit and talk about it. Anybody that wants to come up and chat is more than welcome. The link should be pinned at the top. If I did it right. It's the first time I've ever done it. But I'm not going to have a lot to say unless somebody comes up here to chat with me. NJ. I was just telling them anybody that wants to come up and chat. We've basically used the cold weather as an excuse not to go this morning. Danny Stone. What do you think, Danny? 21? Too cold to launch the boat? I think it is. And maybe I'm wrong. Maybe there's nothing to worry about, as long as there's no ice on the water. Maybe that cold water and cold air, maybe it won't do anything to the boat. I don't know. I feel like once it gets this cold, I'm not real comfortable putting the boat on the water. I'm afraid something's going to freeze up, mainly to do with the motor. After you've ran it, and you're sitting out there fishing for so many hours, and you go to start it back up, it just scares me to death thinking about it. Well, bank fishing, Danny, I understand. I'm talking about launching the boat, having the boat out there on the water. I just don't know. How'd you end up doing yesterday, Danny? So I was in there when you caught one, the one on Black Betty that was there for like 20 minutes. And we always do that, even in the summer. I've gotten in the habit draining the motor even in the summer. But what about when you're out there on the water? You've got water in the motor from where you've been running it, unless it drains out. Maybe it does. Maybe it all drains out when you shut it off. But I don't know. I just feel like it's scary. Hi, Emily. Is it 21 degrees there, Danny? Freddie! I figured I would sit here and wait for it to get back up into the higher 20s. By the time I get on the water, maybe it'll be above 30. I think it's supposed to be a high of 40 something today. Caught 3 small channels and lost a monster hung up on the ledge. Well, I'm sorry about that, Danny. Sorry to hear that. Freddie ain't no cowboy. I'm a cowboy, baby. Bob Gaines. What's happening? It's awful lonely up here by myself. I was kind of excited with Greenwald scheduled a live stream for this morning. We were going to use the go live together on YouTube before he had to cancel. Now, if I'm being completely honest, I'm glad he canceled because 21 degrees on the boat, that's cold. Hate when that happens, Danny, especially when you're out there for 6 hours and finally hook up. Just have them to get you snagged on it. Yeah. Mark's going burbot fishing when I get back from Vegas. But that's bank fishing. Just picking at you, Buttercup. I don't mess with that river in dangerous conditions most of the time. I don't really think. My main concern is doing damage to the boat. And by that, I mean, I launch the boat, I run up or down river, the motor's good and warm, and then I shut it off and I sit there and I suspend drift or I spot lock or something, and a couple hours goes by, and is there any chance that I've froze something up in that motor? Let me put some eye drop in. I'll come up with you in a second. Excuse me. That sounds pretty good, Mark. 31 degrees there now. I'm just glad that the wind, I mean, there's still a little bit of wind out there, but it's, man, these last 2 days, it's been awful. And I'm sure my signal is horrible. It looks like I've got, I'm running off Wi-Fi and there's a little Wi-Fi symbol at the top and it's just a dot. I'm sure my picture looks horrible. NJ says it's 38 here, surprisingly not bad. Going to get cold. It's been windy for like a week. Yeah, we had 2 days of really bad wind. A little fuzzy, but not awful. Yeah. That's par for the course here. I keep saying I'm going to move this laptop. I got a computer desk in there in the other room, and I could plug right in instead of running off Wi-Fi, but I'm a procrastinator. I think Telly was pretty happy I decided not to go. Just waking up, still in bed, so can't come up. Whatever, Freddie. Outdoors in Maryland. It's going to be a high of 40. Heading out in the bay shortly. Yeah, that's kind of what I'm waiting on now. I mean, I'm just going to wait around until that temperature starts creeping up above 30. And then I probably will head out. Nine people at 5:30 in the morning. For somebody that doesn't stream at 5:30 in the morning, I'll take it. We've still got 2 more hours before it even gets daylight here. All right, Outdoors in Maryland. Thanks for popping in. We appreciate it. It's only been 2 months since I went live fishing. I have to try and sneak in one of these days before everything freezes over. I've never fished for catfish this time of year here. NJ, my experience with winter fishing for channels is it's rough. What's up, Mark?
What's going on, Chris? I just got up. I'm like, let's see what's
Bored.
going on. While the coffee's brewing, boom, there you are. I'm like,
That's
first chicken nugget in there.
I woke up. I woke up and I walked in there to Telly and I was like, it's 21 degrees. We're not going.
I'm gonna go to
She's like, good.
Avatar so I can finish something real quick before I
Hey, you
don't
do
want
what
to
you
do
need
it
to
on
do,
your
buddy.
screen. Oh wait, sorry, Freddie. I forgot that was up there. There we go.
Danny says, I'm glad you're live. I got to be at the boat ramp in an hour and a half. That means I got an hour to kill.
Yeah, I guess
Well, that's kind of what I was thinking.
I
I was like, well, we're not going. I guess he's going
Danny's going with Richard in
Richard.
the boat. So we'll see Danny in a boat this morning.
Well, are they going to be live?
Mm-hmm. They're going to be on the River Rats.
Oh.
Right, Danny? Whose channel, Danny?
Brian B.
What's up, Brian?
So am I just being paranoid, Mark, or could I do damage to the motor?
Well, rightfully so. I know guys that go in when it's really cold, and I know guys that have frozen their lower ends when they drained it. I mean, it's going to be miserable. You got a full windshield boat, which helps. Do you got a curtain to put in the walkway between the bow and the pilot section?
Well, I mean, I've got the window that closes in between, but there's still an opening in there. That window does an amazing job of blocking them.
You can get a curtain that goes right below that window that snaps into place. That'll help you keep a little warmer when you're moving. Otherwise, it's miserable.
Well, I mean, I'm like I said, it's not so much me. It's am I hurting the boat?
If it's running in the water, not at all. Watch the temperature. It should get up to operate. You got to let it run. Make sure it gets up to operating temperature, but it'll actually run really good. I mean, when the water was in the 40s last time I was out, I gained like 2 miles an hour top end.
I just worry about, I sit out there after I've been running the motor. I've sat out there for several hours fishing. Did something in that lower unit freeze up? And while I was sitting there,
How long are you going to sit there? I mean, that motor is going to heat up to 200 degrees, I believe. At least that's what a car does. I wonder what a outboard warms up to.
Well, and as long as you keep that, as long as you keep it in the water, I would think it shouldn't freeze up.
Yeah, it shouldn't.
I don't know. Maybe I'm just.
It's when you pull it out, you want to make sure it gets drained. How close does? I don't want to say this, but I know a couple of guys that'll, and you shouldn't do this, that'll turn their motor over with the motor down at the boat ramp just to make sure that the impeller gets everything out. But if you're swapping impellers every year, you're supposed to do it every 2 years. If you do it every year, then you could probably get away with that, but it'll tear it up. But it'll guarantee that you get any water out, though.
I've seen people do that, and I don't. I drop the motor. Like when I pull it up out of the ramp, and first thing I do is drop that motor all the way down. And while it's draining, I'm hooking up the boat, doing all my stuff, putting stuff away. And then I come back and raise it up and put my transom saver in.
I need to get in that habit. You trim your motor up when you put it on a trailer, just so you don't drag the lower end on the ramp. Yep. I get in the bad habit of never putting it down except onto the transom saver. And then when I get home, I need to take the transom saver out so it fits in the garage. And I always got water still in it.
Yep.
No matter what time of the year. So, I mean, but in the summer, you ain't really got to worry about it, except I got like water spot in my garage where it drains all the time.
Well, that was one of the reasons that I tried to start, even in the summer, I try to stay in that habit of bringing it down at the boat ramp.
Mm-hmm.
As I'm loading up. That way, when it does get cold, it's just part of my routine. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That way I don't forget to drain it, because we're driving most of the time. We're driving close to 2 hours to come back home. That's plenty of time for that to freeze up in there. So
you drive that far every time you go to fish, huh?
It's minimum hour and a half.
Every time. A long ride. See, I'm lazy. I stay home. I'm lucky. I got, like I say, 15 minutes to the boat ramp. To the closest one, the marina that sponsors me, that's like 25 minutes. But I save money in fuel because that's up where I fish. If I drop at the closest one, I got to go like 10 miles. It saves me a lot of time too.
NJ said he went 20 years ago to Niagara and crushed the steelhead, 11 degrees in a blizzard. Took him 3 days to thaw out. The guide that took him had no gloves on, was tying little hooks the entire time. I didn't know how he wasn't freezing. I don't mind the cold as long as it's not windy. Well, that's the other thing too, is if there's any wind and it's cold, that's going to be miserable.
That's the worst when your hands get cold too. Like you can't tie anything. I'm pretty good at, I got ice fishing boots when I'm out on the ice that are good, like the negative 40 degrees, I think. They're the Impacts from Baffin. But my hands, once they get cold, I'm done. I can't get them warmed back up. I got diabetes. My circulation's kind of messed up.
Kelly and I both have gloves in the boat that are waterproof and insulated.
Mm-hmm.
Just for that reason. His name was Eric. He had hands made of leather or something. It was weird.
Maybe he didn't have. I have like no feeling in my hands except for the cold. The cold is pretty painful. Them steelhead love it. The colder it gets, the more those steelhead love it.
Yeah, if my toes get cold, it's over. That would get me, like, especially when I deer hunted all the time. That would run me out of the woods faster than anything. My toes getting cold.
That's part of the reason why ice fishing for me kind of is rough, because I got a 50-pound pop-up shanty. I got, like 3 pounds of propane heater, all the other gear just to survive that you're hauling out there. I'm guessing I'm hauling out like 100 to 150 pounds of gear across the ice. And the best spots are usually like a half mile walk on the water.
Yeah.
It's like,
I don't know that I get into that ice fishing.
It's all right when you can't fish. Like I haven't fished. I'll go perch fishing this time of year, which I did a couple times. First time I slayed them. Second time, not so much. I got like 20 dinks, like 4 or 5 inches. It was ridiculous. They come in and out depending on the weather.
Mm-hmm. Good morning, Robin.
Good morning, Robin. But I mean, that's what I got available to me right now. Right now, what I have is go up to Milwaukee, which is like 2.5 hours for me, or go downtown Chicago, which is a pain in the traffic because when I go to Navy Pier, it's $40 to park for the day, unless you go there during fisherman's hours, which is from 5 a.m. till 10 a.m. Then it's $9. It used to be 10, but it's 9. They dropped it this year. I'm not complaining. But the problem is getting down there and getting back is like at the beginning and the tail end of rush hour, and going downtown is horrible.
Wow. Danny said you need a team of sled dogs.
You ain't kidding. My little dogs, I don't know if they can pull that sled. I should have thought about that before I picked these two up.
Danny said, Eric Leatherhands. That sounds like a Disney movie.
So you're not going fishing today? I'm
gonna wait and let it warm up a little bit. I'm 90% sure I'm going. It's just I'm not going right now. NJ said he used to do a lot of late and fall winter fishing for steelhead and browns before I got married. There's so much other types of fishing I'd like to do, but most of it requires travel.
In Milwaukee, they got their Summerfest grounds, which is right on a lake. And over at Summerfest grounds is where a lot of guys catch brown trouts. There's a guy up there named Eric Hotcha, right? Guy gets on the fish all the time, but what he does is he'll block off that bay because it's kind of a bay that comes in. He'll get out there and he puts do not enter tape all around the whole thing so he can take his clients out there and put them on the fish. So he gets on them before they even get in there, and everybody gets kind of screwed.
Yeah.
Oops, I wasn't supposed to say that.
Little green seagull eggs that smell like licorice, made by Atlas, were the ticket.
You
Smells
can
like
use
licorice. I
glass
probably
beads.
want to eat it.
Yeah, you can use glass beads too. A lot of guys do that. They'll use actual glass colored beads, red ones and stuff. But I've seen those Atlas eggs.
Whoops, too soon. Yeah, I
Tully
just
sleeping or she up?
no, she's awake. She's in there watching TV.
Good morning, Tully. You guys are always up because you work this early, right?
Yeah, I mean 3:30 is our wake up time for work days. So if we sleep till 4:30 or 5, we feel like we've really done something.
You've accomplished some sleep. I just
I've
don't
been
sleep
waking
longer
up
than
at
5
2
hours.
o'clock every morning. That's about what we get, 5 to 6 hours.
It's a sign of getting old, man.
Danny said they'll find me frozen on the bank like the guy from Jeremiah Johnson. They'll pry Black Betty from my hands.
That's a great movie, Danny. With just like one of the zombie carp. You'll see Danny Stone out there. Some fisherman will come by and take a
Yeah.
chunk out of Danny and use him for bait.
Circle of life.
So if I'm not mistaken, don't you go to the casino once in a while?
Yes.
How do you do? Because I never go. And I'm
Yeah.
going to Vegas this week.
I mean it. So if you look at, because I get a win-loss statement every year, just for tax reasons, and it always shows a loss. But I mean, there are days when I go out and I definitely lose, but the days when I win, it's usually a lot. I mean, well over $1,000, $1,500, $2,000 a head. But when I lose, like when I go out there and I say I lose, I'm talking like $100, maybe $150.
Mm-hmm.
But so it feels like that I stay ahead throughout the year, but my win-loss statement says different.
Yeah. And then you get one of those through like one of them player cards, right, at the place you go?
Yeah, and I will always use that card because you do get. We just got a letter in the mail the other day for we could fly to there was 2 different destinations on there, and it was round trip airfare and hotels included. Just because I go and play at the casino.
Yeah, we're going with a couple that are some good friends of ours, and his brother, his sister, and soon-to-be brother-in-law. Second marriage, long story, but his soon-to-be brother-in-law is a big gambler. He goes out to Vegas all the time, and he's like, "You guys want to go to Vegas? I got enough points to buy you guys airfare." So he got us all airfare for free. So all we had to do is pay for the hotel, and we found some pretty good deals there. So I wanted to go fishing. I wanted to go to Key West, but they didn't want to go. I've never been to Vegas. I'm not a big. I used to love playing poker back in the day, but I'm not sitting at a poker table in a casino with those animals.
I've never been to Vegas, and I've always said that I won't go to Vegas unless I have at least $3,000 that I'm willing to gamble away, and I don't know that I'll ever have that money.
Well, we budget.
That's a lot of money to just gamble away.
Yeah, I budgeted like $300 a day, and I don't feel good about it.
I think I could. Well, and but I mean, at least ahead of time. It's like when I go to my local casino now, I walk in with, say it's $100. I know that more than likely I'm going to lose that money, and when I lose it, I'm done. But
I think that's the smart way of doing it.
I always thought, our casino, when they started up, they weren't allowed to have live gamblers or live cards. Everything had to be video. And I kept saying that if they ever changed the law where they could have live dealers, I would stop playing the slot machines and I would start playing poker, because I love playing poker. But now we've got live dealers, and I still play slot machines.
Them slots are kind of cool. Some of the new ones they have out there are pretty neat because we got slots everywhere you go here. I mean, if I left the house here at 3 in the morning to go get cigarettes, there's like 8 slot machines at this gas station in the middle of nowhere, right? They're always full.
Yeah.
People playing.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll play 3 card. I think I'm staying at
Yeah.
the Luxor, and I'm answering NJ, and I think they have 3 card poker there, which I got to get brushed up on how to play.
Danny said the only thing he hates about Vegas is all the beggars on the street, but the hookers have trading cards kind of like baseball cards. I have an extensive collection.
Yeah, I told my wife I was going to start my collection when we were down there. She laughed. Maybe I'll do a live stream and show everybody all the cards I picked up.
So one of the things that I do, and I believe it or not, I actually watch a lot of videos. There's a lot of YouTube channels out there that are nothing but playing slot machines.
I watched,
and there are a few channels out there I'll watch them regularly. And then there's I actually used to have a channel. It was called 20 into 30 slots. That was my first YouTube channel.
Oh yeah.
And then COVID hit and I couldn't go to the casino anymore, so I gave up on that channel. But I try to make fun out of it, because I know that a slot machine, it's 100% chance. There's no skill to it. There's nothing you can do to that machine to trick it. It's a machine. It does what it does. It has a random number generator in it, and you have to push that button at just the right time to win money. That's all there is to it. But there are things you can do to make it fun.
So how do I make it fun?
Sometimes if you, like one thing I'll do is I'll call it the up and down method. I start at the minimum bet, and I'll either do a minimum bet, then the next bet, then the next bet, then the next, until you get to the top, then go back down. Or I'll start at the minimum bet, and when I hit a winning screen, then I move up a bet. And if that wins, I move up another bet. And sometimes, it lets you play a little bit longer, but still make those bigger bets. And if you win on the bigger bet, of course, you win more money. They're just different. I don't like using the word strategy because there is no strategy to slot machines. But
yeah,
it's just a way to change it up instead of sitting there pushing the button all the time.
In checking out the video, in checking out a lot of videos, they were saying that these slot machines are constantly picking those random numbers, even when people aren't playing. They're just running.
Yep.
Running, and then you're pretty much just stopping them when you're sitting there playing, and they're programmed to play, to pay out X amount, and they were explaining the 3 different types, like the low, medium, and the high stakes ones, that you win more on the low ones, and then on high ones you win more money but less time. So
yeah, they all have a percentage of payback, and typically it's anywhere from 93% all the way up to like 99.9%. That's the payback on the slot machine. Now, that's the payback over the slot machine's lifetime. It doesn't mean if you put $100 in it and it's a 93% payback that you're going to get $93 back. That's not what it means.
Mm-hmm.
It's the payback over the life of the machine, and you just have to be sitting there at the time when it decides to pay some of that money back.
So the casino's keeping 93 whatever percent of every dollar that goes in there is basically what you're telling me, right?
No, over the life of the machine, they're only keeping 6% or 7%, depending on what that payback
6 or 7%. Gotcha. There's a reason those buildings and those casinos are so big, though.
Yeah, I mean you might be in one casino, they may have some machines that are paying back 99% and some that are only paying back 92%. And you don't know what machines those are. But that's strictly regulated by the gaming committee. Those when they set up a machine, they're not, and people think, and I catch myself thinking it too. Oh, well, they've just switched these machines. They decided not to pay back. They can't do that. That's against the law. You know, they set them up and they're set up.
I wonder how it's going to be because we're going to be in the casino the whole time. How often are we going to be down there playing? We got a bunch of tickets to a bunch of shows. We're going to get in to see Carlos Santana while we're there. I'm looking forward to that.
Oh,
Then a
that'd be
couple
all
other
right.
shows. Yeah, and then a couple other shows that the ladies want to see. And then what are those? So I forget what they're called. You know those old time lady dancer shows? I forget what they're called. We're going to one of them. Vegas style.
I always call them showgirls, but
Well, not the showgirls. What's the other style?
good morning, Connor. Burlesque.
Burlesque. That's the word I'm looking for. We got tickets for some burlesque show out there. That ought to be fun. That ought to be a good time with the wife.
Danny said he sat on a slot machine for 2 hours, got up, and a lady sat down and hit 28,000 on her first spin.
It doesn't mean you would have hit it. It doesn't mean, Danny, you would have hit it. It just means that then she just hit the generator just right.
Yep, that's all it is. That there's a computer chip in there. It's called a random number generator, and it's constantly thinking. And when you hit that button that fast, it already knows your winning combination and then what it's doing, and it just displays it on a screen instead of showing numbers. You know, but another thing that I'll do sometimes, Mark, which was like my first channel was called 20 into 30 slots. And the reason it was called that was I would put a $20 bill in the machine. And as soon as that turned into $30 or more, I cashed it out. I would put anything above 20 in my wallet, and that went home with me. And then I'd put the 20 back in the machine. That way you never lost. Well, if you won anything at all above $30, then some of that money was going back home with you. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
A lot of times I might start with 60. I might start with 320s, but one of those 20s turned into 40. So 20 of that went in my wallet. And even though I lost the 60 I walked in with, I still had a 20 in my wallet that I won. So I didn't go home broke. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But a lot of times when you hit a machine right and you win, it's more than $20.
It adds up pretty quick. We got the Grand Victoria here in Elgin, which is right by the house, not too far, maybe 25 minutes away. Me and the wife went in there for the first time, and she's not one for gambling, which is why I have no idea why we're going to Vegas. We walked in there, I put $100 in a $5 slot machine. Third pull, I hit it for $400. We cashed out and left. We were technically in there for like 4 minutes.
Yeah.
That was it.
Yep. And that's the way to do it. Because if you keep going, you're probably going to give it all back.
Like give it all back. Yeah,
you know, there's nothing wrong with
she's like, do that again. I'm like, it doesn't work that way.
Not always. Most of the time, it does not work that way. I mean, there's been days where I went out there. Like, there was one day I sat down on the machine. I was playing the 10-cent denomination, the minimum bet on it, which was $2.50, and I won $12,000. And after they paid me, I went to another machine and won $4,000. That doesn't happen very often.
No.
Good morning, Steve.
Good morning, Danny. Connor, how you doing, Steve? Unless you hit one of them progressive like jackpots, right? There's no other way I'm going to win a boat while I'm out there.
Well, you might win enough to buy a boat if you get really lucky.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. I need about 100 G's for the one I really want.
Yep. See, Danny says, I put my gambling money in my right pocket, winnings in his left. When the right pocket's empty, you're going. That's good. And you have to be disciplined to do that, you know. Sometimes if I win a good amount of money, say I sit down in the machine and I put $60 or $100 in it and I win 500, I might take 100 of that and say, okay, let's go big and go home, you know, and go on a higher denomination machine and bet big bets. But then when that's gone, you leave, because you have to say when enough is enough.
Here, do you still do that other channel at all?
No. Once the casino shut down, I just gave up on it.
I was just going to go in there and sub to you so I can watch you do it.
I've thought about starting it back up, but I don't know. That's one of those things that's kind of like when you go live stream fishing. You know, you go out there and you want to produce fish, or you feel like you failed. Well, you go into the casino and you go in there intending to make a video, and then you don't win anything. I mean, how boring of a video is that? Hey, you just may lose $60, you know?
Yeah, there's one guy that I was watching. I'm trying to figure out what channels. What is it? Vegas Lowballer. I guess he probably
Vegas
goes
low
every
roller.
day. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
He probably goes every day because all his videos are when he wins. I'm sure that doesn't happen too often.
There are several channels out there that's all they do is make YouTube videos about slot machines. That's their
And he's got
full-time job.
Let's see how many subs he's got. He's got 219,000 subs. So I imagine his videos pay for his gambling.
That's exactly what they're doing. Is they're getting their gambling money from their YouTube videos, and some of them even have sponsors. You know, there's one guy out there. It's Brian Christopher Slots, and he's huge. He's got a casino that sponsors him. So he's probably playing on casino money every time he goes.
That could be. They probably, well, it depends. If he lives close, he doesn't need to stay there, but maybe they give him free board and food, and obviously they're going to give him money to gamble. So
Downey says my gamble was buying 20 Bitcoin when they were 150 per coin.
There you go.
I don't follow that cryptocurrency enough to know anything about that.
I dabble in it for a little bit. I did pretty good in it. Not that good. Not 20 Bitcoin. No way. I don't even have 1 Bitcoin yet. But right when we were getting ready to move in here, I wanted to buy a mining rig. I was in the IT business. I'm like, yeah, I'm going to set up a mining rig and mess with this. And my wife talked me out of it. She's like, no, we need money for the house. And that was a mistake.
Danny said there's a lot of slot players on TikTok that do lives. They're probably the same ones I see on YouTube. I've been watching slot machine videos on YouTube for 2 or 3 years more than I've been watching fishing videos.
I went live on TikTok after I won that Golden Whisker Awards because we were out celebrating, right? Wife wanted to go out to celebrate. We went out with that couple we're going to Vegas with. And somebody Venmo'd me enough to cover the bar tab. That was kind of cool for the 4 of us.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah.
That's nice. That's awesome. I did my very first TikTok live the other day when I was fishing with J Dog's live stream.
Mm-hmm.
When he ended that, I went back up to the creek that I launched in. I know what, I'm just gonna spot lock here for a little bit, and I'm gonna do this TikTok live and see what it's all about. It lasted about 14 minutes. And then Cody decided he wanted to come up with me. And as soon as I gave him the access to pop in my TikTok live, it froze me and told me I had no internet.
Yeah, there's a lot of lag there. First time I went live, I was live for like 40 minutes and then it ended. It said I did some sort of violation of community standards, some harmful speech or something. I watched it again because you can rewatch them. No idea what they're talking about. So they suspended me for a whole week. I was like, that's dumb. We were out fishing. I might have yelled at some guy.
I'd talked to Chunky about I'd talked to Chunky about it, and he said that when you first start doing TikTok lives, he said it happens to almost everybody that they're gonna ban you. He said it's just part of it. He said no rhyme or reason.
Well, hey,
so just
he makes them enough. Yeah, he makes them enough money where they probably don't touch him. Him and Ernie and Haz, they're kicking butt on there, so they're not going to take nothing away from them guys.
Well, what I thought was funny was I started that TikTok live and instantly had like 130 people in there. I mean, like within 20 seconds. And I was like, how in the world are they finding it that fast?
It's
but just
as
fast as
people
it came in, they were gone.
Yep.
You know?
Yep. I started one live stream up. I had like 900 people in there like right away, and then it dwindled down. I think I stayed at like 120, something like that for a while.
TikTok is horrible. You need to read their terms of service. Yeah, we all know. They're all spying on us. They're all tracking us. They're all doing it. Maybe one's worse than another. Who knows? But
I got nothing to hide, but that don't mean that I approve of their. That's a whole nother show.
yep, that is definitely another show.
I
just look at it like that. I know. Go ahead.
Fishbrain, they pay me to give them content, and that content gets used on TikTok, so I can't complain. It makes me money.
Mm-hmm.
And they reached out to me. That was ridiculous. That's the first like quote unquote sponsor I got that actually reached out to me. And then I got a couple more after that reached out to me that I'm trying to work some stuff out with, and we'll see what happens.
Yeah, we got an email. It's been, I don't know, close to a month ago now. We got an email from somebody wanting to sponsor us. And I was reading through the email. And I think I stopped counting at 25 misspelled words. And I mean badly misspelled. And I was like, this ain't legit. Yeah,
was it a boat chemical company? What's up, Chad? Was it a boat chemical company? Because I think we all got that email.
Was it? It might have been. I don't know. Been listening for 10 minutes and I've yet to hear when it's too cold to go fishing. Yeah, it's right now, Chad. It's too cold to go. Yeah.
Chad, we had that talk before you got here, bud. Chad should come up here. So
21 degrees, Chad. Yeah. Come on up, Chad. Let's talk about it. Because is it just me? Am I paranoid? Or, because I'm not talking about my person.
If he comes up here, he can share his experience with super cold fishing because he did a little damage to his boat. So,
well, he did that backing into the ice, didn't he?
Well, yeah. Well, like I said, we'll let him do the explanation if we can get him to come up here.
Yeah. See, I love to fish, but I think if I pulled up to the boat ramp and it was covered in snow and ice and the water is frozen, I'm like, we're not going. I'm too lazy to do all that work.
Another thing, when it gets super cold like that, a lot of places, they'll rail up their docks and stuff. So it's kind of a pain in the butt getting in and out of the boat. And you don't want to risk getting wet or falling in because then you're done.
Yeah. Telly just said, she goes, oh, I'm more than okay with not being out there when it's 20 degrees. Yeah, they start taking the docks up, at least on the lakes around me. They start removing the docks in like October. There's some of those places that Telly and I have went to on the Ohio that they don't have docks there ever.
Yeah, I noticed that when I was down.
There's other places where they're. Yeah.
I need a dock.
I don't like that either. I mean, if there's a muddy bank or something like that close to it, I don't mind beaching it there, but pull right back up on the boat ramp itself. I don't like
that's rough. You got to get one of them keel guards. If
Chad says his coffee's brewing.
Mine's empty, Chad. You need to come up here so I can go get some more. I didn't make a whole pot. I've
got a place real close to me that does that. There's a place real close to me that does that rhino linings for your truck beds and stuff. And I've thought about taking the boat in and see if they can do just like 6 inches on either side of the keel, to protect the keel, and 6 inches on each side, just so when you do have to beach it, just give it a little bit of added protection.
You'd only have to do like 4 feet of it too. You know what I mean? The first 4 to 8 feet of the boat. Right. You wouldn't have to do the whole boat. So.
Yep. I mean, you can see where the water line is and just down to where it flattens out.
And Jay, you're an amateur.
Chad's coming up. I'm going to need more coffee. What's up, Steve Ransom?
What's going on, Steve? How you doing? Did you see what NJ said? The blasphemy.
Kelly, are you making more coffee? Yeah. Kelly's gonna make more coffee.
I had someone at.
So were you going out for bourbon today, Mark?
No, I'm gonna go when I get back from Vegas the next week. I'm gonna reach out to Lance and maybe Guerrero Bagre and meet them up in Milwaukee. We'll try that. Maybe we'll do a live stream while we're up there. The last time was what, 2 years ago when I went. The first time I got one bourbon the one night, which I got video of. It was like, I don't know, 20 degrees out. The next day it was like 12 below, froze all my gear up, and I caught like 5 bourbon. So that video never got made.
Wow.
Lance did fish last night.
I'll show you what
or 2, I think. Bourbon fishing's pretty easy. It's just like catfishing with some lighter line, like your channel catfishing, and use walleye wide gap hooks. That's the way to go.
This is Telly's new skipjack rig.
Nice.
Just bought that yesterday.
And they'll bite on a boat tail that big, or is she using something else?
Well, those are only the 2-inch. They're 1/8 ounce, 2-inch bodies, 1.5 2 inch bodies. I'm assuming they will. I don't know. I've never went skipjack fishing.
How far you got to go to get
That's what it looked like in Mike Greenwell's video. Same, got to go to the Ohio River.
Ohio. Well, how far is that? Is that 2 hours?
Yeah, 1.5 hours, 2 hours, and that's even if they're there. You know, hey Jody, I don't even know if they're going to be, because we're not, both places we launch are the 3 places that we launch. We're not even close to a dam.
I've never gone skipjack fishing. That's something I was looking forward to. Looking forward to going down in Bama, but I broke a rib, and one of the other guys had some health problems.
I bought the GX2.
Okay, what kind of reel is on there?
It's a Shakespeare. It's a combo.
Gotcha.
Ugly Stick Shakespeare GX2 combo. They were like $50 or $60. 60-ish, I think.
That's about average for a combo. So, I mean, I don't think for skipjack that you'd need anything super special. Just something to get out. I know Chad's got that specialized skipjack rod that reels the sabiki rigs into them.
Oh yeah, the sabiki rod.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was the one that mentioned the Abu Max combo.
Jody says, I skipjack. Did you happen to see any of Jody's live stream last night?
No.
She was giving Cool Cat such a hard time. I think she's getting sleep because she's getting real uppity.
Chad says, all excuses. No one wanted to go with me is the real story, Mark.
Go with him where? What's he talking about? Skipjack? Oh, Bama. That's right.
Oh, Bama. Oh.
Yeah.
I didn't get asked to Bama. So.
Jiminy Christmas had a broken rib. It's that hurt for a long time. It's like having a toothache.
That takes forever to heal.
Yeah.
But we got home last night and I sat down and watched one of Greenwell's videos on tying skipjack rigs, and he was using the 1/8 ounce jig heads and curly tail grubs, and so that's what we're going to go with at first. We're going to order some of those shiny heinies and stuff like that, but you know, I got to order those. Telly says she has a brilliant idea. Let's hear this. We'll think about that for sure.
I mean, like I said,
I can't share that. I don't know if you guys heard it or not, but I can't share
No.
that yet.
Good morning, Mark. Good morning, everybody.
Good morning, Telly. I'm going to start saying
Jody
good morning,
says, me
Telly.
uppity? Nah.
I'm going to start saying good morning, Telly and Chris instead of Chris and Telly like everybody does.
Well, I'm surprised everybody hasn't figured it out. If it just says hooks and hammocks, it's just me. If Telly's anywhere in there, it'll say Telly hooks and hammocks. But sometimes she's lurking in the background.
I've seen her type for you all the time. I've even seen her type a couple of
Oh,
times.
yeah, if we're
like
driving
the
to work, she's
ridiculous-
the one typing.
Yeah, the ridiculous things you say about her. I know she even typed some of that stuff in there.
Sometimes I can get her to type that weird stuff, but I've been known to pull over and type it myself, too.
I set him off in Hoglegs chat one night telling him I was going to trade my wife in for a newer, younger model. Everybody's like, no. Stop it, Mark.
I thought Jody was going to blow up the boat last night trying to light that heater. Oh, Lord.
I thought Danny was going to throw her in the water. I mean, I thought, whatchamacallit, Cool Cats.
Cool Cat.
James was going to throw her in the water.
Jody and NJ say hi, Telly. I said good morning, everybody. Oh, she said good morning, everyone. That covers everybody, even future people to come in.
If you tell me she's making you breakfast, I'm going to be sore.
No, she's making coffee.
Even that. Hey, there's Richard.
What's up, Richard?
Richard says, y'all need to move south. Like, I don't know, maybe Missouri. You know, it's funny he mentions that because we had that talk, what was it, Friday night with that those people were going to Vegas with. And he works pretty much from home. He's a salesman for a laser company. And that's like his territory. They're like, yeah, we're thinking of moving to Missouri. I'm like, so are we. And I think the wife might even be on board.
Nice. Telly and I are moving to Tennessee.
Yeah, little backstory. We had looked at an 88-acre piece of property in Kentucky in 2007, and then the market crashed, and the value of our house went and cut in half. So that kind of put an end to that. We were like getting ready to put an offer in on it and everything, and that kind of got shot. So, and that was right on the edge. It backed up to the Daniel Boone National Forest right there. So it was a nice piece of property.
I can't believe Cool Cats got mad because I accidentally kicked the heater off a couple times while I was lighting it.
Every time she'd go to light it, it would go poof.
Ooh.
What's up, Stephanie? Good morning, dear. Real Gals Fish, God's Truck.
Real Gals Fish. Was it a buddy heater?
It was one of those tank top heaters, the double head ones.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, Richard, that's our plan is 5 years. I can retire in 5 years. Matter of fact, it'll be 5 years from tomorrow I can retire. And actually, no, 4 years from tomorrow I can retire. And that is the plan.
There he is. Okay, Chad's here. Chad, I'm getting coffee. I'll be right back. Entertain the chat. Buddy, you're looking good. Did you shave already this morning?
Yeah.
Yesterday.
Yesterday? Look at him. I'll be back.
Oh, I'm good looking. Oh,
He does look.
Yeah, I gotta get
sweet.
I got a
Look 20 years
haircut
younger.
appointment. I got a beauty shop appointment on Monday, so I'll be all good.
you might need to make a double appointment.
You
That's
do look
actually why
freshly
I've been
polished.
sleeping as much as I can, trying to get all that beauty rest. I need it.
So you determined 21 degrees is too cold to fish.
Well, so here's the whole deal.
Here we go.
Can I damage the boat? That's my concern.
You can damage the boat in 80 degrees.
It ain't going to freeze in 80 degrees.
What's your next excuse? Come on.
If it's 21 degrees outside and I've ran that motor up or down river and then I stop and I fish for a few hours, can that motor freeze up?
Not if you drain it.
It's in the water. I'm fishing.
Oh, I mean, it's not going to in the water. No. Now, when you
Not
leave
even
the
part that's
water,
out of the water.
when you leave the water, when you're putting it on your trailer, you want to make sure that you get as much water out. That's the big part. Or you can be a dummy like me and think it's only a thin layer of ice like this. It will break up when you back in. Yeah, that you could do. But no, it's not going to hurt you.
That's
can get
been
in the
my
water,
fear.
you're fine.
Because in my brain, I'm thinking, okay, that water's coming up from the lower unit, it's coming up through the motor. Even when I shut it off, is all of that water coming out of that motor and going back into the river, or is some of it staying up in there and can it freeze?
You got to think when you come to a stop, right? You got your water's coming up through your pump, coming in and out of your motor, right? When you come to a stop, what does water do? It'll settle back down to the thing. You got to think, like, if you're in 40-degree water, right? Everything's metal and plastic. It's unless you have like 40-mile-an-hour winds that are constant, that are 20 mile an hour to combat that temperature. That water is going to heat your boat. Like that day that we went out, we was fishing something. My entire boat was covered in snow here a couple weeks ago. About an hour or two after being in the water, the whole deck started thawing out. It was still cold outside. It wasn't sunny. The temperature of the water was high 40s. It was warming my boat up.
Well, I feel like, and I don't know if I'll ever be able to shake this feeling or not, but once it gets like below 25, I don't want to put that boat on the water.
It can be tough. I mean, look at like when Roger and me, we fished against J-Dog and Norm. It was 10 degrees when we launched. And Roger's steering froze, The Grand, he had a very, very old boat compared to yours, but it could happen.
It's just
not the same things can happen. But the same thing. I mean, yeah, I know you are, but the same thing can happen in any weather. But it definitely can increase, I guess you could say, the chances of something freezing up. But I know one thing I'm going to be doing. I've got that inverter on my boat. I'm bringing one of my heat guns.
Yeah. Hey, that's not a bad idea at all.
What are you going to foul with the heat gun?
Like my trolling motor, it'll get froze up.
Oh yeah.
So like, I've actually had it where me and my buddy Bill. It took us an hour one day to get it unthawed enough to where we could even put it down the first time. So you get that water when you're pulling it back up.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that froze up on me. So
check the rating. Check the watt rating on there. I hope you got a second battery or an additional battery to use that inverter on, because I'm thinking it'll draw it out like boom, like nothing.
Yeah. We have the inverter on a battery by itself on the boat, which really the only thing right now that we even use it for is like this right here, live streaming, using our charge our phones and stuff. But we use it also. We have used it in summertime to run fans. It's nice.
Yeah, Richard brings up a good idea because I remember when Hagen Grubbs was scheduled to do a 1-versus-1 against Creole, he busted his steering because it was so cold. Those steering boxes will freeze up.
Well, that's what I was. Remember when
And see, if something-
Roger and I did that one against Norm and J Dog? His busted.
Yep.
But
If
you
something
also
like that
think,
happens to me out on the water, I just don't know enough about boat mechanics to be confident enough that I can fix it on the water. You know what I mean?
you wouldn't be able to fix that on a boat. You'd be calling J Dog or myself to come and get
Come.
you.
Yeah, come pick me up. Use that trolling motor to get back. I did one live stream where I was fishing 100 yards from the boat ramp, right? Just because it's a good spot right there. And I had the lights on all night. By the time I go to start it, my battery was dead. I was dead in the water. So I just kind of used the trolling motor to get back, but I didn't have to go far. I worry about that at night, which is why I got the additional battery on the boat now.
That's definitely one thing you want to make sure before you go out is you're charging your batteries good. Everything
And
charged up.
batteries don't work as well when they get, that cold too.
That's why I won't go lithium.
When
Why not?
Lithium batteries in the cold, they won't work on.
I've heard they're not real good in the cold, and they're harder to charge because don't you have to have like a warmer or something?
They got built-in ones. I know all the ice fishing guys use them in their electronics now, and there's no heat radiated off of anything besides itself. So, and they have no problems with it. I haven't heard any bad things.
Yeah. I've heard
Sean T says just
a
get
lot of that.
12-volt heat tape. Doesn't get real hot, just keeps things warm.
Well, that'd be a nice idea. 12-volt heat tape. Wrap that around your body.
You
look like
gotta
a
get
Tin
Jody
Man.
all worked up. Easy there.
Now, that's one thing I like about them stick-on hot hands.
Yeah.
Best thing you can do. Put one on each kidney. Put two on the chest. And typically that right there will keep you a lot warmer than you realize.
I put on a lot of layers.
Nothing
It's usually
sticky.
all right.
Nothing sticky is
Huh?
going on my chest. Nothing sticky is going on my chest.
Put it
or my
on your
kidneys.
shirt, you noob. I'm not talking about like strip naked and put it on your vitals.
Putting on your nipples.
We put them on the inside of our jackets. And you'd be surprised the difference, and especially on your kidneys,
Yeah.
how much of a difference that will make on your core temp, even no matter how cold it is.
Like
He
I said,
loves
it's not the. I can sit out there in the cold as long as my toes stay warm. I'm good. My biggest fear is tearing up the boat, doing damage to the boat.
If you ain't breaking stuff, you ain't using it. Right, Chad?
That's right.
Well, you ought to see
I got
the
two of them out there.
dents and scratches all over our boat. Because you guys, did you hear the story about what I did the other day when I was loading up? I came in a little hot, and I like to never got my transom saver on. I pushed that tower in the front of the trailer 2 inches forward on the boat trailer, and that made I like to never got my transom saver between the trailer and the motor because I'd moved the boat so far forward. But I got it in and I got the boat home, and just the vibration of driving down the road actually moved that tower almost back to where it was supposed to be. And I went out last night and tightened everything up on it again. So we're good now.
Yeah, I need to move mine back a little bit. Mine's pushed up a little much. It's been like that for a while.
Yours are welded in, or are they bolted?
Mine's got 2 U-bolts underneath that come up.
I need to go look at mine.
That was the first thing I thought when I saw that
I've
moved.
never seen that.
As soon as I saw
I
that
hate my
thing moved,
trailer.
I was like, maybe I should have somebody weld that.
Chad saw how hard it was for me
Mike
to get my
Sands.
boat on a trailer.
I was feeling for Marky that day.
Oh, that was horrible. It's horrible every time I try. I put new heavy duty rollers on there. I might be able to do it now. I haven't even tried. Usually it's just easier for me to put on my muck boots and crank it up. The boat don't weigh all that much. So I got it down to a science now. So
Why is
that
it so
helped
hard to get on the
most of
trailer?
I think my boat is overweighted for the rating on the.
Yeah.
You know, I got a little crappie boat that was meant to have one battery. I got 4 batteries in there now. I got an Altera trolling motor. I got a 30-pound anchor and an anchor winch, all the rod holders, everything on there. I mean, it runs good. It's just getting it on that cheap entry-level trailer that's the problem.
Yeah. I mean, it's crazy. The first year we went up to Mendota, Chris, watching him load and
Yeah.
unload it, it's like the front hits, the boat goes like this,
It goes,
and then he goes through the mud like this, and he goes, and I'm like,
Wow.
yeah, and I'm like, hey, you got to back the trailer into the water first, because he only had the tire to the water line. I'm like, you freaking jackass.
Chad was back in the trailer in that time for me.
Well, the other day when I went
What's up,
down
Sammy?
to Tanner's Creek, I was by myself, and I backed into the water like I always do. I leave just a little bit of the fender showing out of the water. Normally, I can back it right off the trailer, but for whatever reason that day it was not coming off that trailer, so I had to get back out of the boat, get in the truck, back it in some more so I could, it was just an ordeal. But when I went out there the other day, I just used a rope instead of going through all that. I just backed it all the way until it floated off the trailer and pulled it back up to the dock with the rope.
When I fish by myself, I have a 100-foot rope that I use. I'll put it in the back, the tail of the truck, bring the line to the cab, whip it around, drive it back about 100 miles an hour. As soon as I see it go, come off that, slam on the brakes, hop out of the truck, walk over with my line.
Yeah, that's what I do too, and just
That's
coil
what
it
I
up
do.
in the pickup truck. I just not the 100-mile-an-hour part.
No,
I was being,
Oh, I wasn't
I was
going
being a
that
little,
fast.
I was being a little dramatic, just having, fun.
I figured. We know you're full of crap.
You know, when somebody does come fishing with me and they help me do the boat, they always don't do it right. Really irks me. It's like, I got a method. Leave me be. Just hold the rope.
Yeah.
Steve,
Now I didn't coil it up in the truck either. I actually made sure it was all uncoiled up the boat ramp way off to the side of the truck. That way, while I was backing down, I wasn't going to run over my rope or anything. I just held the rope out the window.
I got 2 buddies down there in Alabama this week, and they're killing it, Chad. Like 50s and 70s nonstop, like one after another. They're messaging me, telling me they're exhausted.
I wish I could afford to go down here right now.
Yeah.
Rub it in.
I know. Really wish I could go, but I gotta pay
I'm
both
going. I'm just not going right now.
where'd you go?
Keeps hitting that button on accident.
Well, he muted himself and took himself off camera both at the same time.
I think he was reaching for a chicken nugget and he accidentally hit the button. Oh,
Chicken nuggies are my
It was a
family.
nicotine. It was a nicotine break, you jerks.
I need one of them too.
Chris, let me know when you want to get ready to go down there.
What, to Alabama?
Yeah.
Oh, I was talking about going
after
fishing today.
December. Oh, I meant after
December. All right, yeah, I'll get with a scheduler. I'll figure something out.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, I got the winter blues those 1-2 weekends, but D and I will always take off a Friday or something, and we'll go do a Friday, Saturday, and come home Sunday trip.
I thought about getting in on a winter blues, Chad. Seriously, going down to Powerton.
Yeah,
Yeah, I don't know if I want to make. And that place is so hit or miss. If they're not running the plant, it's not operational, but they still run it. And they'll run hot water out into the discharge. It sucks, and they never tell anybody when they're running or when they're not running.
Yeah,
But
it's like
there's
every
some big ones there. If you get out there with balloon rigs, it's not uncommon to catch 50+ pound catfish there. Blues.
try it sometime, man.
Yeah,
It's
I've seen a lot of
mile and a
videos
half
of
walk.
There's some big fish.
It's
Yeah,
a mile and a half walk, and there's no bathroom facilities, and it's wide open. No trees, no nothing.
because you never
Maybe we
know unless
can
you
do.
go. That's every body of water. It's hit or miss,
I've been there twice, and both times were misses.
or I should say most bodies of water, not all.
If we know we're going to a place like that, that's when we take the pop-up toilet.
There you go.
Kelly's got one of those little pop-up things that's just big enough for one person to get in and go to the restroom. Smells amazing in there too.
You need to put a little tiny table in a corner with some potpourri in there and a bottle of Lysol. You'll be good to go.
I don't think there's room for a table. There's a 5-gallon bucket, and that's about it.
When we used to use our camper before, we had one of them pop-up showers. I could probably use that. That's somewhere in storage.
I'm going to get some coffee. I'll be right back.
Cheers, my friend.
I'm holding up my coffee cup too, just so you guys know. So what are your plans today, Chad? What are you doing?
Right now, Mr. J Dog, when he gets up, he's got to maneuver a couple things around. And I'm going to take this boat down to him so he can look at that steering. And then I don't know.
Thought you did
So
that
you're just
yesterday.
gonna hook up? You're gonna hook up and go down there? Hope you can get
It's
it
been
fixed
hooked
today?
up since yesterday, but he was visiting a buddy of his yesterday and didn't get back home till late. And I didn't want to just show up and that, I knew where to put the boat or anything like that. So
Yeah.
we talked a little bit last night, and he's going to get up this morning and do that, and I'm get ready to go down here in a little bit when he gets up.
Hey, Richard,
Can you turn
what
that
time
big
are
boat
you-
around in his driveway?
I ain't trying to turn that big boat around in his driveway. He could. He probably could.
What's wrong with his driveway?
Oh man, it's not like super horrible or nothing, but it's when you go up, so
It's straight uphill.
it's straight uphill. So he's got a front yard that's like this, and then the driveway comes up it, and then next to that, to his garage is another hill. So when you come up, you come up to where the house is. It kind of comes back around to his garage. I don't know. I guess it would take some. I guess over the years and stuff, you'd maneuver like you're a champ. But I'd be like over top the front yard. I'd be flipping the boat over, and my truck would be flipping, and it'd be hitting the road, and then going down into the trees on the other side of the road. It'd be a mess. J Dog's talented though. I don't know about me. I'm a good driver, but that's crazy.
Just in the driveway.
Yeah.
Yeah, when I pulled my boat over there to do the service, his pontoon's parked next to the house. If that wasn't there, you'd be able to pull right up next to the house and then back straight into the garage pretty much. But with that pontoon there, you got to stop 3 car lengths too soon to really be in line with the garage.
Yeah.
So it's a chore. What's up, Lee?
We have a real narrow street where I live. They really went cheap when they built the subdivision.
That's how this is right out here. Yeah.
It's hard to get my boat like lined up right, so I end up having to go back and forth a few times once I get in the driveway. And me, I'm too lazy to take the wife's car out, so I usually make sure it's parked over as far as it is, and I'm able to get it in there, but I got to be pretty careful. I can't see my boat behind my truck, which is why I put those big, tall white posts on the end, the marker lights.
Yeah.
But it's good for backing and driving and stuff. But if I launch on the river like south of here, that current that's there, it's a little narrower section of river. It makes it like a nightmare to get on the trailer. Tim Molina said, "Good morning,
Tim
gentlemen."
Molina
He's
said,
not-
"Good morning, gentlemen. For some reason, you're muted."
Turn your volume up, Tim.
I don't know, Tim. Good morning.
But yeah,
Outdoors in
that's-
Indiana with
that's-
Dave Scott.
What's up, Dave? Lee? That's a pain I have out here, Mark, with being such a narrow road, and then I've got everybody that parks on the other side of the road there, and none of them can freaking park worth crap.
Good morning, Tim. Good
I
morning,
have-
Lee. Good morning, Dave Scott.
I have like 2 inches on
Aha.
each side of my filler wells to get in and out of the garage. So you've got to be dead on straight when you're going in and out of my garage.
Is Outdoors in Indiana the same guy that fishes Lake Monticello? Because I've been watching him for a while, or I used to.
Outdoors in
He makes
Indiana
videos
with
of
Dave Scott. I don't. It might be. I don't know. I know he launches at Tanner Creek a lot.
I go.
Yeah. I don't know.
I turned off my camera instead of muted me to cough.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. I thought you was going to talk about how tough it was getting in and out of your driveway, Chris. Your driveway is like at least a quarter acre wide.
Yeah, I was going to say you live on the Ranch Telly over there. Telly Ranch. That's what we're going to call
No.
Chris's property from now on.
His driveway literally is probably a quarter mile wide.
No,
Ask
it's
me how I
not.
know.
That's just
Ask me
because
how
you
I know.
drove through the yard.
How do you know, Chad?
We went up there a couple weekends ago with J Dog and Tara. They and Mason rode up with us, and we're going down the interstate, and Van and Sandy, come up alongside of us, and then we ended up, following each other up. And when we got up there, somebody had said something right as I was supposed to get ready to turn, and I missed the turn. So Van and Sandy turned, and they got in front of us, and I had to turn around and go back. So I was behind them, and every time we'd come up to a stop sign where we had to turn, I was going to try to whip in front of her, and I couldn't do it. I was like, son. She'd turn, and she'd be like right in the middle of this. They don't have lined roads up there,
Oh no.
Mark. Just so you know, it's like a supposed 2-lane road.
Well,
You're
if they had
you're
tolls,
just
they
supposed to
could
know which
afford,
side you're on.
if they had tolls, they could afford to line the roads.
Right. So I was like, I kept losing time. We're getting closer and closer to where I could, beat them to Chris's house. And I'm like, you know what? Watch this. Sandy got ready to turn in Chris's driveway, and here I come. About halfway through, like, magic. This is his yard. Here's his driveway. Here's where Chad enters. Right at an angle. Hit that bitch and poof, right up in front of Sandy. Is like barely got her car in the driveway. And she's like, I'm like,
It's like,
we get up to the garage of the house, and Chris is in his bathroom.
what the hell?
The hell was that?
It's like, honey, I'm home.
I had just stood up. I was sitting on the couch, and I just stood up, and I just have out of the corner of my eye, I can see Chad flying through the yard.
I said,
You-
Dukes of Hazzard,
And
boys.
Wee doggy.
There's a pretty big ditch on both sides of the driveway.
Like a drainage ditch, right?
It wasn't that big.
Well, it's just where the roads build up, Oh, it's
Yeah,
big
so-
enough that when you're trying to mow it, you're mowing it like this, and the mower
Okay.
keeps wanting to slide down it.
Hey, when you come across it at a 45-degree angle, that's how you are too. You're like,
And there's a telephone pole right there where he did that.
now you tell me.
I'm surprised he made it.
I just got a push mower. Takes me a whole 15 minutes to push my lawn. Takes me longer to trim
No
it.
regards for fellow angler's vehicle. Huh? It was my vehicle. I just didn't have any regards for his property.
Yeah, Chad doesn't have regards for much. He put a bluegill on my rod, on one of
Hey.
my rod. You know, that wasn't on my rod holder when I got home. I'll admit it now that it's been a while. I woke up, got out in the garage. I'm like, what the hell is that stink?
You lying son of a.
I'm like, Chad.
I'll be right back. I gotta get some.
I did. That was fantastic, man. I was so upset that it didn't make it to your house.
No, it made it all the way home. It was in my garage. I'm going to tell you the truth. I was like, what the heck?
Richard, is Richard still in here? Did you hear that? Tell Stephanie. Tell Stephanie.
They were both in here for a while. They're probably
You know,
getting ready to
Stephanie
go
had it on video.
Oh, did she?
And that's what for months after that, she kept saying something. She was going to blackmail me.
Like I said, I walked out there. I'm like, Chadwick. I'm like,
Oh,
first,
that's
I
See if I can
didn't
find
register
this.
at first. I'm like, how the hell did this happen? Like, what the? And then I go, Chadwick.
NJ's in here. There it is. I am very guilty of that. Real Gal's Fish.
What, Stephanie? You're supposed to have my back, God's truck. What's going on, Martin? How you doing, Emily?
I'm trying to do this without showing you who sent it.
What's it say?
Uh-oh, don't do that.
Oh.
Hang on.
I don't know what you're clicking on, but
Put the Grinder app away, Chris.
what's up, Emily? Martin, what's up, buddy?
Oh, it keeps changing on me.
My God, this coffee's good this morning.
It is, man. What are you trying to do?
Oh, prank hotline phone calls.
Oh, God.
I know who sent you that.
Somebody sent me this yesterday.
Is it the king of freaking pranks?
So now I know for sure. Now I know for sure who the culprit was. How many times did that happen to us, Chad?
Huh?
How many times did that happen?
Oh, my
to us
God.
when
Too
We
many
were calling
times.
each other, and we
They
weren't
had-
calling each other.
They had J-Dog so mad at me. I was sleeping. J-Dog called me and J-Dog both at the same time. Apparently there was a recording because I was half out. I'm like, dude, I'm in bed. What? I don't know what you're talking about.
We know who sent you that.
Yeah.
I think he did
I had
that
my
with me and
suspicion.
Dockery. I think he did that with me and you too. I'm like, I didn't call you. Was it you? He did it with a couple of people.
I don't know. I think I'm going to go have an adult time outside.
RAR
I can't hit the
Vlogs.
button. I can't hit the button.
ARAR.
Who? Hey, roll.
ARAR Vlogs. RAR Vlogs. Good morning. How are you?
I was in some crazy live stream last night. They were having a ladies' night. It was rather interesting.
So this ladies' night. That's why Mark was in there. He's
That's
a lady.
They had some guy that was in an old folks
And
home
he's feeling right.
in a dress with pink boots on. I was like, what in tarnation?
Okay.
I had a dream last night, and it was one of those dreams that it felt like it was the entire night long. And then I would wake up and go back to sleep and go back into that dream. But in that dream, I had tried to kill people. And the
What a
whole dream was
dream.
about me trying to cover it up.
I've had those dreams before.
You're watching too many mysteries on TV.
Those are great dreams.
That may be it.
Sounded to me like he was worried about getting busted. What's up, Big Slim?
Well, that's why most of us haven't ever done it.
My wife
Beer.
had that dream
Well,
where
I'll
she
take a
thought I
break.
was
How's
cheating
that?
on her. She was mad at me for like 3 days.
I squashed that
I
the
have
first
those
time
dreams
that ever
constantly.
happened.
I have dreams that Telly's cheating on me all the time.
Probably
I
didn't
tell her
help
about
that
them
I
too.
took. Yeah, I Probably didn't help that I told her I actually was when she accused me of it.
Uh-oh.
That probably didn't help.
No,
No.
that didn't help.
I just look. I'm like, look, babe, have you? There's a reason you married me. Okay. I
We don't
mean,
know what that reason is,
I'm like-
but there's a
I was
reason.
gonna
I'm
say,
like the best looking guy in the world.
oh Lord.
Don't be jealous of that other women think I'm hot too. No, I said you need to lose your jealousy right now.
No, Danny, it had nothing to do with the gun. Lee Evans, what made it worse was they were family members.
Danny.
Talking about my dream. Oh, that you cheat on me all the time in my dreams. Telly's a serial cheater in my dreams.
You say all the time. You have it a lot.
Yeah, I have those dreams a lot.
You know what I've heard? The reason why a lot of people
true.
have those dreams, like men, no, why men have those dreams? The more you
I'm
have it,
sure I know
the
where
smaller
this
your
is going.
PP is. They say the
I
smaller
knew
your
we were
PP
going
is, the more you
somewhere
have
with
those dreams.
You know I can remove you, right?
I'll act like I'm. Ooh.
Did Chad really just say pee-pee?
He said pee
I've had to keep it PG for the show.
It's still funny.
pee.
I don't dream. It's very weird. I haven't dreamed in like 15 years.
I don't dream much anymore.
Wow.
Oh, I
Every
got
once in a
puppies.
while, I'll go through them vivid dreams, but every once in a while is the only time I'd ever dream. I'd say
I go to my
90%.
pup-
All right. Yeah, 90% of the time, 95% of the time, I don't dream anymore. No, I never get into that REM sleep.
Danny said, "Oh hell, that's normal. I want to kill my family every Thanksgiving and Christmas."
Do you ever have the dreams where you're like way more skilled than you should be? Like you're like a Black Ops, like Navy SEAL type, John Wick type person? You've never had those? How you're that skilled?
In my dreams, like if I get into a fight with somebody in my dreams, they're normal. They're all at normal speed, but I'm in slow motion. It's like I can't.
Those dreams are stupid. Those dreams are stupid. I hate those. Yeah. I can't remember. I've heard some things about, like, seriously, they're like why that happens in your dream, but I can't remember what it was. But the skilled ones are pretty cool. You're like, yeah, I could never do this in real life. Like, I did like wrestling, and I did sambo for years when I was younger. And so I know a little bit of combat, like hand to hand. I could never do 90% of what I used to at this age and size. But some of these dreams, I'm doing like, Jet Li type karate and shit. I'm like, no, come on. Wake up, like, man, that was cool, but no.
Good morning, 217 Rebel Outdoors. Danny said he can't be a Navy SEAL, a walrus maybe, but not a SEAL.
Yeah, I'm more of a Navy walrus these days.
More of a Navy jackass.
Love your face, freaking jerk.
I know you do. And that really was Megan calling you a jerk yesterday, just for the record.
I don't believe that saint.
That.
I don't believe that saint of a child would say such things. Just like her mama, she's a saint.
Boy, they got you fooled. What is the temperature? Is it warmed up yet? Nope. 23.
I should be getting ready to launch my boat, but I'm not. Planned on going yesterday. I was going to go up to.
There's beautiful one.
Hi, sweet Saint lady.
She's coming back. You got her attention.
What's up?
I said, hi, sweet saint of a lady.
Hello, good morning, Telly.
Oh, hello. Good
I
morning
agree
again.
with Chad. You are a saint.
Thank
I'm going
you.
to put up with that guy.
All redheads are.
That's right.
I don't know about all that.
Gingers for life.
Exactly.
when Megan was still, what was she, about a freshman or so, 8th grade freshman?
Yeah, something like that.
We have volunteer fire departments around here, and they do fish fries once or twice a year. And we were over at one of the fish fries, and Megan had all of her friends walking with her, and they're staying back behind us, because they're too cool to walk with mom and dad, but they're back there just to talking. And one of Megan's friends says, you got to be careful of the redheads because they have no soul.
Gingers have.
Gingers have no soul. Telly heard her, and that girl was so embarrassed.
Well, she didn't realize it until we sat down to eat, and then she sat with us and then looked at me and was like, "Oh my."
I
I can
was gonna
imagine
say
because I
that
know
about-
Kelly's looks.
I was going to say that about Chad, but Telly's here, and I didn't want to insult her.
You're fine.
She's heard worse from me, trust me.
Oh yeah.
Well, that I know.
Oh, Kimber's petting.
I can imagine the look that Telly gave her.
I didn't know whether to laugh or what because I thought it was comical.
I've seen plenty of the looks that you give, and I can imagine a kid's face when you went.
She gives looks, and she doesn't even know she's giving them.
Very
And
true.
I think that happens once they get married. It just kind of like gets indoctrinated into them.
I would have to agree.
My mom's coming to watch the dogs while we're gone here. So my wife wants to get the house all cleaned up. I mop the floor upstairs in the bathroom. Sheila just walks into my room and says, "Really? Go do it again." That was about it.
Nice.
Lee Evans said, Telly the soul taker and big fish catcher.
Yep.
Hello, 217.
So I guess the moral of this live stream is I'm just paranoid.
Yeah, pretty much.
Pretty much. Don't worry about it until it's broke.
All right.
You just got to be a little bit,
Oh, that's
a little bit more. You got to be a little bit more cautious.
Which
The
trolling
deeper it
motor
gets
do you
into-
Which trolling motor do you run, Chris?
I've got the power drive.
Just spray
The
it
one
down
that's a
with
pain in
like
the
Pledge
butt
or
to
something
launch.
like that. And spray it down with Pledge or a silicone spray lubricant, something that's not petroleum based, and it won't freeze up.
Yeah,
All
I
right.
keep meaning to look
I'll
for
have
that, but I never.
Telly go out there. I'll have Telly go out there and rub it all up and down the shaft of the roller motor.
anyways.
No, you didn't.
Yes, he did. Got me some new gloves, Chris.
Chad swatting it.
Telly wants to
What'd
know
I
what
do?
you're swatting at.
I don't know. There was some
She
kind
said,
of
what's
map or
Chad
something.
swatting at?
Chad's an artist. He's drawing flies.
Pretty much. But look, got
You
these
got
at
new
Walmart.
gloves?
These are
Gorilla grip.
they're fishing
Fingerless.
gloves. These are fingerless, right? So no more winter time throwing the rod in the water. We'll use these. And then I've got for when I'm throwing the cast net and it's 30 degrees. These are they sell them at Walmart.
Yeah, I got mine.
Right.
The ones I use, I got them from what was it? Advanced Auto Parts. I was in line once. I'm like, hey, these are kind of cool. Rubber. They work pretty good.
This is another thing about keeping your hands warm.
Keep them dry.
Because I was thinking you wear, you can wear latex gloves under your regular gloves, right? That'll keep the moisture off of your hands and stuff. But then we just happened to go to Walmart last night because we needed some sugar and stuff for our coffee, and we were looking at that back by the fishing stuff and the automotive stuff, and they had these out in the aisle, and I was like, I'm gonna try these.
How much were they, Chad?
They were like $12
That's
each.
not too bad.
But you get, I think, let's see, three pairs of gloves. One, two, yeah, 3 pairs of gloves in each.
That's a deal. I paid $16 for the one pair I got.
I don't remember. The ones Telly I have are, like I said, they're the waterproof, but they're also insulated. And I used them the other day throwing the net, and I was able to, they're pretty thick. You're not going to be tying knots or nothing with them, but throwing the net, they worked great.
Camera. Yeah. Get over here.
Yeah. It can freeze your hands pretty daggone quick out there. If that air temperatures pretty cold.
Oh, that was something else I was going to do yesterday. I was going to order a new net. I didn't do it. I'll do that today.
What are you going to
Order a
order?
new cast net.
Oh, cast net.
Well, I want to get
Now,
that one I've got right now is only a 5-foot net. I want to get at least a 6.
What size net do you run as far as the mesh goes?
5/8 is what I
Well,
use.
that's like the
5/8.
small one. I end up getting a
Chris,
bunch of little ones.
Didn't you have a 6-foot 5/8 inch?
Yeah, I
you got
gave it
from
to
a
Greenwell. Yeah, I gave it to Greenwell. So now I need to
All
buy
because
another
you're
one.
too stubborn to ask me, how do I throw this?
Well, now that I know how to throw the net, I know I can throw that 6-footer. So I'm gonna
Chris had
move
something
to a
against
6 or maybe even a
asking me
7. I don't know.
Chris had something against
I
asking
don't
me
have,
how to
I
do
don't have anything asking me.
I got friends like that too, Chad.
Here, I'll show you, Chad.
And then I'm the first one that
he's got a list. He'll call J-Dog and Greenwell, Uncle Lou,
Who did I call?
Chunky, all
Who did I
kinds of
call
other
yesterday?
people. Why did you wait a minute? No, let's get this right. Why did you call me?
To ask
Come on.
your opinion.
When that live was
That's
done,
my
I
God,
messaged
Chad.
him. That's going to catch fish then.
Exactly.
I had to message him and say, if you have questions about skipjack stuff, please feel free to call me. And I didn't answer when he called because I totally didn't expect him to call me. I figured, he would go through his list of real fishermen
Oh, my
first.
word.
he probably did. He's
All right,
just not
buddy.
telling
I'll
me.
tell you what.
Well,
I'm gonna tell you.
And probably
I'm
what
tell
really
you just
happened,
like I told Cody and J-Dog.
probably what really happened is Telly made him call me because she knows. Now, go ahead.
You go through your phone and look at. I want you to count how many times I've called you versus how many times you've called me.
I don't call people. People get mad at me all the time.
Exactly.
Okay.
I don't call anybody. I'm not a caller.
I'm not either. You can look at my phone and see how many times I call my mom and dad versus how many times they call me. If that'll make anybody feel better.
You don't have to. They call me all the time. I remember Chris calling me a while back. I'm like, what did I do now? I pick up. Chris is like, hey, I think there's a video you need to look at. And it was the Catfish Day video. I'm like, cool. I made the list.
If I got something to say, I just would rather just say it and be done, not text it and take 30 minutes of both our days and back and
Don't feel
forth.
bad. He does the same thing to me.
Plus, you never know in a text message. You may not mean harm at all, but they read it the wrong way. And
I know.
Sometimes I get
Yeah,
disappointed.
you gotta get
Read it the way I
Chad.
want.
Chad, you want to hear Chad go?
When
Why
I'm
is he
hungry.
bothering me? So you need to call him.
That little. I'm like, why are they calling me?
What does he want?
What does he want?
Well,
And
there,
then I'll answer the phone.
there for a while, every time I called Chad, he was asleep.
Well, he's always asleep.
No, it didn't matter.
No.
I could take I could go to sleep from like 11 to 1, or 3 to 5, 3 to 7, whatever. It didn't matter what time of the day. Like I decided to take a nap. Chris would find that perfect nap time. He called me. I'm like, how do you know I'm sleeping?
Chris, we need to coordinate. We need to figure out the times he's sleeping. We can start calling him them.
Well, I've got the app now, so
I'll smack you both. We'll smack you both.
I would never.
Yeah. Leah was saying, yeah.
I know,
Chris tried to
James,
set
that's-
the 5'8" nap.
7 foot 5/8 mesh, sturdy net.
What's the H2O?
I'm gonna look around for him.
I really like my I like my Phytech.
Bets.
That's my net.
I got a
That's my
6.5 tech that works pretty good.
But I don't know. I've torn up a lot of cast nets in my life, and I switched to Phytech. The very first time that I got hung up on it, I pulled up. I mean, I got caught on some big time brush down at Taylorsville Lake. Pulled it up with crappie and a largemouth bass in it, and it did not tear my net up. And I said, you know what? Phytech for life. And I've bought Phytech ever since.
See,
And I've torn up some Phytechs. I've torn up a couple Phytechs.
that net I have right now is a Phytech, and
Yeah.
it's got broken braille lines in it, and it's never been snagged.
They're easy to fix, those braille lines. I had to retie a bunch of mine. I don't throw my casting off my boat, but I do off the bank and stuff. And a lot of places where I cast, they get caught up. I end up having to yank that stuff out there. I keep having to retie braille lines every time I come back, but I'm still using it.
The only thing I can think that broke those is I had 2 carp in it one day. That's the only way I can think that those braille lines got broke.
Could be. Carp can tear up a cast net pretty good.
So can a snapping turtle. I caught like a big 20-pounder in mine once. It was not pretty.
I mean,
Michael Murillo.
we had a stack of fish. Me and Billy was out fishing. There was a stack of fish, and we couldn't get nothing to hit. And we're like, I only want to know what's down there. So Billy threw the cast net and pulled up 5 gar.
Oh,
We're like, yeah.
Oh,
Luckily,
no.
I mean, they didn't tear the net up at all. Surprisingly,
I hate when you pull up like 20 little baby channel cats.
that's
They're
the
a
pain in the
nightmare.
rear end. Baby blue cats are the same way, Mark.
Yeah, I can imagine.
Them fins get stuck in there, them barbs. Oh man,
That's what these are for,
Chad knows all about those baby blue cats.
right there.
I do. Yeah, but you don't want them stuck in your cast net when you're trying to throw. You freaking forget about them. And
It takes like half an hour to get them all out. Or like
Yeah.
shiners. I'll get on like a big school of shiners. I'll pull it out, and the darn net looks like a Christmas tree when you hold it up.
Yep.
What's up, Mr.
no,
Murillo?
no spamming J-Dog's number. The poor guy, he needs all the beauty rest he can get.
James Alba, troublemaker in the house. What's up, James?
I know. I saw his comment. I'm ignoring James Allball.
James, we've been live for 1 hour and 43 minutes. Wow. I didn't think we'd been up here that long. Let's see, what do we got? Stand day today? What else is happening today? Anything?
River Rats after
River
after
Rats.
Sand Day, I think. I think Greenwell's
Did Danny
going
ever
live
say
this
whose
week.
channel that was going to be on today? No. He
I
canceled.
don't know.
That's why
Well, it's only him and Richard today, so it's going to be on one or the other. Fish and Freedom or Danny Stone outdoors.
Did you say Greenwell
I should get a
canceled?
notification. Yes, he did.
Okay.
Canceled last night.
Now I don't feel as bad about not being out on the water yet.
Are you fishing today, Chad?
I don't know. I got to take that boat down to J-Dog here in a little bit first.
Oh yeah, that's right. You did.
'Cause right
mention
now
that.
the truck's hooked up to it and it's in the driveway blocking the other boat where I can't get to it. So
It's going to be on Danny's channel.
Daniel. Oh, Daniel.
Steve Mosley, if you're going to take that kayak to Tanner's Creek, you better have a trolling motor on it because there was some current out there yesterday.
It was. I'm trying to think. I looked at Aaron, whatever his name is. I think we're at about 1.7 mile an hour current. That's not bad.
It is if you're in a kayak.
I wouldn't think so.
It takes a lot of effort to overcome one. You got to paddle that kayak at 2 miles an hour or more to overcome the current, and then you're only moving at 0.3 if you're trying to go upstream.
Yeah, but
so you really need to be paddling at 3 miles an hour.
I'm sure Steve's like, twice as or 3 times as strong as you. So
he's got a trolling motor too, so he's good. I had a kayak, and that pretty much made me sell it. I'm like, no. I had nobody I knew with a truck willing to come pick me up, help me portage, but it is what it is. It was fun while it lasted.
I'm still shocked as close as Steve Mosley lives to like me and Chris. We've not all gotten together or something.
Where does Steve live?
He fishes down around between Tanner's Creek and I can't remember.
He lives around Brookville, Indiana.
Is it Brookville? I knew it wasn't too far.
Well, I can't blame Steve at all. Steve's smart. Keep away from you guys.
We can kick you out. I can't, but Chris can. All I have to do is say Chris, and Chris will jump.
You got to take
not very high, but he'll jump.
You let him tell you what to do.
No.
Oh, act like you don't call me daddy all the time.
Wow.
That's definitely not true.
Wow. Welcome to the pickle stream.
Steve Mosley says he has a sportsman. That's what we've got. We've got the Old Town Sportsman.
I had one of them Jackson big rigs. It was great, but it was a barge to paddle around.
Well, ours are pedal drive, which makes it easier, but you still, a nice comfortable pedal on ours will move you at about 2 miles an hour. But to go to 3 miles an hour, it's a lot of work, and you can't do it for very long.
Richard, I tried to paddle kayak. A buddy of mine has, and no matter how far I put the seat back or adjusted, I just felt cramped up on it. It was just too.
Yeah, I don't have that problem.
Tight to fit. What do you mean, Chris?
Yeah, what do you mean?
I don't have that problem.
Explain.
He's trying to say that he's not a big guy like us, Mark.
My legs aren't as long as yours has that.
Or a short joke.
Mark doesn't have long legs.
No, I don't. I got a long torso.
Yeah. Mark's 6'6", and his legs are only like 18 inches long.
Chad's got that about right. Chad's been measuring my inseam every time we go to Mendota.
Yeah.
Like, come here, big boy. I'm like, what? He whips out a tape measure.
Yeah. He wears like 28 length pants, and he's 6'7".
You guys ever see those Chucky dolls? I wear those pants.
I've seen him just eyeball guys and say, "Oh yeah, he's a 32."
Experience.
I'll kick you off your own screen.
Try it. Like this.
Well, James, you are old. He says, I can't do the paddle thing because of my knees.
Well, if you hadn't, never mind.
I was worried about the pedal kayaks because I got a bad leg, and it really doesn't bother me at all. It actually, I think it helps.
Really?
It'll loosen you up like any exercise does. Careful what you say.
What time are you going out,
I I wouldn't mind going with any of you guys. Careful what you ask for.
You know me. Well, especially since I have to work tomorrow. If I'm not on the water already, it's already the day's already ruined for me for fishing. I need to be there by daylight.
Yeah, but I think we got that midday bite going on. That's doesn't really bother me to go out a little later in this colder water. Seems like from 10 to 2 is that's when they're catching them.
When you get into wintertime, though, I have noticed that. Like during the summer, noon to 3, I won't even fish it. I'll just whatever. It's dead. But wintertime, that's some of the best biting that I've got.
When the sun's directly
that noon to
above you,
3.
right? Yep. Yeah, I noticed that too, Murillo.
What? Work.
Yeah, the only person with a kayak that has pontoons attached.
Challenge. I don't know if I could even get on a kayak. I don't think they make them this big.
Yeah, you could get on a big rig. You'd be fine. Hook into a big fish on a kayak, that's a blast. That's a good time. I ain't going to lie.
I feel like every time I get on my little blue boat that I'm basically in a kayak.
Yeah, that is kind of a tight fit on that boat.
Make it work. I mean, it doesn't work for now for
Yeah, you guys made it
3.5 years.
And you got that thing loaded up with
Well,
stuff.
he would have some room on that blue boat if he'd clean it out.
There'd be some room on that boat if Dee left Chad at home too.
Yeah, but
That's
she
true,
can't
too.
back the trailer. We were talking about that yesterday. That's the only reason she keeps me alive.
To back the boat in.
She can't back the boat. She
I'm
can't.
sure
She
she'd
can't back the
figure it
trailer.
out.
She can do everything else.
She'd figure
except
it
back
out.
that damn trailer.
All Dee has to do is pull up to the ramp and bat those pretty eyes of hers, and somebody will back that trailer in for her.
We were
Back
talking
at it.
yesterday. She's like, I said, this is the perfect time to learn how to do it. There's a lot less people. She's like, yeah, you know what happened last time? I was like, yeah, one guy pulled up to launch a boat and you freaked out. She's like, exactly. And I said, she's like, well, maybe what we need to do is drop the boat, let you go out fishing, and I'll just stay in the parking lot all day. I'm like, that's fine with me. My luck, you won't ever come back, but whatever. I can just see a half hour after I get done, get out there fishing, she get mad and just drive home.
No, about the time you get all your lines in the water, she'd call and she's like, all right, I got it figured out. Come get it.
Yeah,
I'm sure she'd do just fine.
I'd ignore it and then be like, I was over there in that one spot where I don't get service.
You better not ignore Dee's phone calls.
What?
You better
I'm
not.
the man of this house, and I'll ignore whatever I want. I can only say that because she's still sleeping.
I was going to
I'm
say.
sure somebody's screen recording that right now.
I don't care.
Go back and send her the timestamp.
I don't care.
About what year did you guys feel that way? Because I know mine hit about, I don't know, 15 years of marriage. It turned into, all right, game on. It's it.
No comment.
Chris is like, day 2.
I was like, what, 6 months?
I ain't falling in that trap.
Yeah, his is right there. He ain't falling into that trap.
Sounds like Darth Vader's over
All
there.
right, it's almost 7:30.
And
6:30.
Temperature check. Burr. It
Chris.
didn't even give you a temperature. It just says burr.
Let's see, what is it here? Whole 19 degrees.
I don't even know what ours is. I don't have a way to look. Chris.
Yes, sir.
So with the one that the rod that you showed, I've seen you had like pink paddle tails.
No,
I thought it was
Is that what you got?
chartreuse.
there's There's a white twirly tail, and then there's a chartreuse paddle tail on it.
Okay.
That was
You'll
that was all I
you'll
had.
find that- you will find out when you are skipjack fishing. Take multiple, like white, like you're talking about. What you have, white and whatever. White's always a good one to try, but
Yep.
having different color, even the shiny heinies, is very much a good thing. Different color of the Foley spoons and stuff like that, because it's weird. They might be
And I would
hitting
have bought more.
nothing
had
but
I
white one day or this hour, and they will all of a sudden just turn off, and all of a sudden they're hitting a shiny heiny. Or I've seen we've even seen them down at Wilson, and I hadn't even thought about it, but docking them was something, because we were all casting kind of at an angle back, or had the long lines just kind of sitting out there on top of the water, letting them hit. But they were only hitting. This one guy was figured it out. He started throwing a Foley spoon out to the green, and it would only hit green, straight out the side of the boat and reeling it in. That's the only way that guy could catch them. It's weird sometimes.
Probably because of the drift, right?
Could be. I don't know.
So
But I'll even
David's-
take different sizes. Like here's a 1/32, a 1/16. I really like the 1/16, but different sizes of those.
well, I
to
had
try.
planned on buying 8th ounce, 16th ounce, all different colors. We went to 3 stores, and the only thing they had was white and chartreuse at all those stores.
White
that's why-
curly tail over any other curly tail is typically, much, in my opinion, better.
So Danny said he's at the boat ramp in search of freedom. And then he said, if you guys scared freedom from putting the boat in today, you're getting a crotch kick at CatCon.
James Albo, I work from home, so technically I'm always at work, and it's Sunday. James has been hitting the bottle again. He
Yeah,
doesn't know
but
it's
to
Sunday.
me, is running an OnlyFans page really that much work?
It is, man. It's a lot of feet pics I got to take.
Oh, Lord.
Follow me.
You know, I'd almost rather look at your feet pics than Chad's face.
What are you smelling your fingers for? That's weird.
He was at Pickle Park last night and hadn't washed.
Oh, wow. It smells like dill. Where's this dill smell coming from? Oh, it's Chad.
Y'all are obsessed with that Pickle Park crap.
It just gets
Well,
out
you
of
and
hand.
J-Dog started it.
I've heard it never got out of hand. With
No,
you.
you know what's J-Dog started talking Pickle Park this, Pickle Park that. And one day I did the hashtag Team Pickle Park for the you Ohio boys. And him and Van got all upset. And every time I go into chat right away, they try to get that first jab in. I'm like, whatever.
I know he was saying it in his live the other day. He's like, we've said Pickle Park twice. If you say it one more time, Mark will show up.
Is that what it was?
Yeah.
And he got mad because I guess my pants were falling a little low. He's like, nice butt crack. And without losing a beat, I said, J-Dog, you a pervert. And he didn't like that too much.
Steve Mosley said, I told my fiance to sell her feet pics, but she won't do it.
I don't understand people with foot fetish.
I don't either, but I know somebody who paid
These are
for a
nasty.
boat with those feet pics. No joke.
Feet are nasty.
Feet are nasty.
CVA, what's going on? Catfish in Fresno.
Well, so maybe what I'll do, maybe I'll run out to the casino for a couple hours and go fishing.
You should do that.
I'm off tomorrow,
so
so
Must be nice.
I don't have to worry about what time I get back. Danny and
sucks.
Richard, what time are you going live? Danny said, I can show my feet and they'll be cured of a foot fetish.
I don't know. That one night on Hogleg stream kind of scarred me for life. I wonder who sent those pictures in, Chris.
I plead the fifth.
On this day, 6 years ago, I did 25,056 steps, 11.88 miles. That was a good walk.
I thought, wait a minute. How long are your
Yeah.
legs? Because I thought 10,000 steps was what, 5 miles? Yeah.
No.
Something's not right. Yeah, it is.
I don't know what I did that day, but
About 11 miles is about right, though, for that.
Oh, no, Danny. I am definitely going fishing today. It's just a matter of when.
Why don't you go bank fishing, Chris?
yeah, you need to start
I
looking where you're going to fish for winter blues. You're sitting here so worried about, is it too cold? It could be this temperature in January or colder.
That problem, that plan is already made.
Hey, did I hear you're going to
We already
Baldwin for the
know
Baldwin
what we're
Bash, Chad?
Do what?
Are you driving out to Baldwin for the Baldwin Bash?
Maybe.
Okay, so they mentioned you might be out there.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're still contemplating that too.
Chadwick, for your birthday, we'll donate $5 to a nonprofit that you choose. How about no?
Is that a text you got?
I was looking at Facebook.
Oh,
I don't know. Need to measure his inseam.
Chad Chad's good at eyeballing inseams. He would know better than anybody
I just always got to go there with you.
because it's true.
You guys can measure my inseam, I guess, at Mendota. Bunch of freaks.
So I'm 95% sure I'm going to Mendota, and I'm 75% sure Kelly is not.
Uh-oh.
What? We don't want you if she ain't
Well,
coming.
She doesn't have it. Tough, but
She don't have
I have invited a guest. She didn't have as much vacation next year as she did this year. This year was
How's
an
that
anniversary year for her, so she had a lot of extra vacation. Anniversary
So you
years,
don't
you
get
get
the same
extra
after your
vacation.
anniversary?
No, you keep so on your anniversary years, you get an extra week plus 2 days that stays with you forever. So next year she'll have 2 days extra, but not the extra week.
Not the extra week.
Only you get an extra week on your anniversary years every 5.
That's stupid.
We're talking about not having as much vacation next year and probably not going to Mendota. So she's got to be a little more picky and choosy with what she uses her vacation for next year.
Oh, and she doesn't picky. And
But I did
choosy us.
invite a guest.
We have to approve of this guest.
You're not picky. Huh?
If
What do
we
you
don't
say?
approve of the guest, they're not coming.
Doesn't matter if you approve or not. And you would, but I'm not going to say who it is until they decide if they're going or not.
Uh-oh.
Okay.
Do I know this person?
Oh, yeah. You all know him very well.
Uh-oh. J-Dog's coming.
No, it's not J-Dog. Huh?
I'm going to try to see if I can get Jade off and turn
May,
it, but I don't know
right?
if they would.
Steve Mosley has 3 weeks as of January 1st. Well, see, next year is my anniversary year, so I get, because it's a 20-year anniversary, I get 2 extra weeks.
Really?
So I've got lots of vacation. Yep.
Hey, what's up,
What's up,
Ernie? What's up,
DMV?
Kenny?
So, Chris, I'm hearing maybe a guy's trip down to Bama together.
I don't know if I can get away with that.
Hmm.
She said,
When are you thinking
Big
of doing
Bill.
this, Ted?
I don't know.
What's
I'm
up, Big
thinking
Bill?
if the freaking money and all that gets somewhat back to normal, when people can freaking afford to go anywhere, I would like to make more
Exactly.
trips down to Bama.
Don't hold your breath. Them fuel prices ain't going anywhere.
Well, regular gas is still somewhat coming down. So it's still at $3.29 a gallon, and it's 400 miles one way. You know, a tank of gas to get down, tank of gas to get back, and quarter tank at least to get around. Or a half tank.
It's
Well,
Well, and then I've got
2.5 fill up. That's a
extra
lot.
driving to do than you do.
No, you don't. How far is it? How far is it from you to, for you to get to Louisville?
5.5
Hour and a half.
Tank of gas.
It takes me an hour and a half to get to Louisville as well. So that would be our meeting point. Then it's straight down. So it's the same distance for me as it is for you
Okay.
to get to Bama.
Bama's almost 12 hours for me.
Yeah. I can get to Bama in like 6 hours or so.
Well, let me
Six
look
and a
here
half.
real quick.
I stopped one time for gas, but I could actually make it to the
Give me
dam
a-
from my house on a full tank.
You got a boat ramp name or anything, and I can Google map it.
Yeah,
What's the name of the dam? That's close.
Wheeler Dam.
Rogersville, Alabama.
Yep.
Directions from home is drumroll. Right at 6 hours, somewhere between 6 and 7, depending on which way you go.
Yeah.
I didn't realize you guys were that close. 6 hours is nothing.
Yeah, Mark, it's only 5.5 hours, 6 hours to get to Chicago from here.
So I could be there in the same amount of time I can be at Chattanooga.
Right.
When I went to Ohio, I made it there in just under 7 hours without stopping. I didn't stop once.
Waterside for Adventures, welcome.
What's up, Waterside?
But they do the same thing with our locks, or with their locks, Chris, that we do with ours. So Markland is everything above Markland Dam is the Markland Pool. Everything down there, Wheeler Dam, everything on the top side is the Wheeler Lake. Wilson Lake Wilson Dam is below it.
Right. Yeah, me and Greenwell were looking yesterday at the pools on the Ohio, and it was amazing to me how much water was between Markland and Meldal.
I told you that one day. Remember when you said, "Oh, it's got to be only this long"? I'm like, "No, it's like 80-something miles."
Yeah, it's crazy long distance between there.
I hate going from dam to dam here, and that's only 18 miles.
Remember, we were having a conversation that there's people that'll launch at Rising Sun, and they will go all the way to Meldal Dam, and it's like 80 miles to get from there to there.
Even with like a 300 horsepower motor, what are they doing? 50, 60 miles an hour constantly?
Oh, no, there's some of them boats, they go 60 to 70 mile an hour.
Well, depending on the water conditions. You're talking
Well, that's true.
Top,
because Dale Kern, a couple years ago, when I think it was the last time he won it, he went downriver. He locked through Markland Dam, went all the way to Louisville, fished Louisville, and came all the way back. And they said his boat does 70 mile an hour, 70, 75.
So he's got like an hour, maybe 2 tops, just to fish out of that whole
and go
tournament.
through a lock. So he
Yeah.
didn't. He took a lot of time out of his fishing day to do that.
He just knows the fishing was down there better than is
Yeah.
well that and it's better down there than it is up here.
Big
Morning,
Bill's
Ernie Brown.
5.
'Cause I think he weighed in day one like 145, 155 pounds.
Man, that kind of run, you'd have to fill up, wouldn't you? Too.
Oh yeah, he even with the 4-stroke, that's a heck of a run.
I wouldn't want to do it.
No,
The farthest we've ever ran one way is 15 miles, and that's when we were down at Tennessee. We launched with Daryl, and we ran 15 miles to that first 100-foot hole, and then of course 15 miles to go back.
yeah. See me, if I'm going to, I mean, I can see him taking the chance because he won a hell of a lot of money that year with that. He didn't win big fish. One guy, one team weighed one fish the entire tournament. It was like a 50-something pound blue cat they won big fish with. And I think Dale's big fish was a couple pounds lighter than it. But
Did he win the total bag though?
he won the total bag, and that was over $10,000.
Man.
So that paid for the gas to go down there and back.
Well, that it did. I'm just trying to think of the time, logistics, and stuff. It's still. How about
Well,
the
that's the
walleye
year
guys?
they
Those are
were
some-
working. Sorry, go ahead.
Those walleye tournaments are getting ridiculous as far as the money. I know they're the whole cheating scandal, but I had no idea there's $300,000 involved in some of them. It's insane.
Right.
That's insane.
And you know
But-
that's something else that I've never done is lock through anywhere.
Yeah, I keep
wanna
thinking about that. I need to do that one day for you, show you how to do it.
Yep.
I lock through at McHenry Dam once in a while, but they don't even open till 8 a.m. So
That year that Dale did that, so our dam system has 2 locks that you can go through. One is for basically for your boaters, right? The other is for the barges. It's a bigger lock. And Markland Dam was damaged, and they had one of the locks closed down. So you had to, take the chance that you're going to have to give way to the barge traffic. And
there's Darth Vader again.
yeah, he basically somehow barely made it. He made it back to the scales to weigh in that day with 2 minutes to spare. There's a bubble line that you have to be back into, or you're late and they won't weigh you in. He made it by 2 minutes.
Yeah, that's cutting it a bit close.
Yeah, Ernie, we've been preparing for Chrissy, definitely.
Definitely.
What's up, Roger?
Roger.
There's a big tournament. Roger shared out. I saw it a couple weeks ago. I want to get this big boat going again, and I think I might start getting back into tournaments next year.
You get that big boat up and going, that'd be a perfect way to do it.
Yep. Give me a few minutes. I'll be right back.
We'll be here. I'd like to do a tournament someday with someone that knows what they're doing. That would be cool.
That's how I feel about it. I'd love to go down there with Greenwell because I know he used to do a lot of tournaments.
I was supposed to go down to Kansas City and do that American Catfish tournament down there, but that kind of fell through.
You have to pick a week for the month that is on Wednesday, Thursday.
All right. Yeah, we'll talk to Chad about it. We'll work something out.
I mean, I don't care if you guys do a guys trip, but I want,
Absolutely.
because we discussed, it depends on if it's a place that I'd want to go.
Yeah, I know you want to go to Bama. Alabama. Why is Richard Cluck driving in the windows down? We'll get enough of that on the boat.
He's getting himself tempered, ready to go.
Yeah, get acclimated.
Mm-hmm.
Is you talking to me? Oh. Well,
Yep.
she's going to have to wait a couple of minutes till Chad gets back.
Uh-oh. What happened? Are you in trouble?
No, I got to take the dogs out.
I got like jingle bells hanging off the back door.
So do we.
Yeah, and they just ring them when I got them. I
Yeah.
finally got the pups trained. Only took a couple weeks, but they'll ring them bells when they want to go out.
It's amazing how fast you can train them on those bells.
Yep. All
We
I
took
do
them
know-
off the back door though, because we just take them out front now, because we don't even use our front door.
No. Yeah, we don't use ours. We come in through the garage all the time. I don't even know if I got the key to my front door, Chris. I ain't even lying.
You know what? I don't know if I have a key to mine. Roger said, as long as your steering cables aren't locked up and your motor is peeing, go fishing.
Yep.
Well, that's what I'm finding out, Roger.
I wonder how that works with hydraulic steering. The hydraulic fluid will get kind of thick when it's cold out.
Yeah.
Interesting. Because that's one of the things I'm looking for in my next boat is whether or not to get something with hydraulic steering or not. But I don't go in that cold of water, so it don't matter. Everything freezes up too fast over here.
Yeah, I mean, well, everything will freeze here except the Ohio.
They lower that Fox River down to Winter Pool, and it's pretty much slows it down to a crawl. There's just enough current to make the ice dangerous. Nobody goes out there to fish, but it locks up. Actually, this is kind of morbid, but the sponsor who raises them of mine, that he also raises French bulldogs, which is where I got my pups from. He says he loses a dog on the ice every year.
Oh,
They pretty much have run of that whole farm. So
wow.
ice is dangerous, people.
Zach and Mark are already catching fish this morning, sending me pictures.
You got to love good friends that do that to you.
You know, if Greenwell hadn't canceled, I would have been out there. But when he canceled, I was like, well, we'll get up in the morning and see. And then when I got up and it was 21, I was like, we'll wait. All right, let me take the dogs out real quick. I'll be back.
All right.
Did you go pee, Chad?
Yeah, that's what I did.
Or like Kenneth says, see a man about a mule. What are you looking at?
Your steering cables.
Oh, Chad.
Yeah, I was looking at catching up because after I said that, I heard you say something about somebody that knows what they're doing. So I figured that was aimed towards me not knowing what I'm doing.
No, it wasn't.
Jerk.
But it can be if it makes you feel better.
I fished quite a few tournaments.
I keep putting my coffee cup up. It's empty. When Chris gets back, I need a refill.
I'll say I'm getting low on mine. Tournaments are fun as long as you don't. As long as you try to keep it fun, because if fishing's like doing the tournaments online, if you let it stress you out, it takes the fun out of fishing.
Yeah, I kind of the couple I was in, I did kind of let it stress me out a little bit, but I'm kind of over that now. I don't care anymore.
It's you gotta be willing to pay the entry fee and know that you just think I'm not getting that money back. Go out and have fun and just do your thing. Go fishing, have fun, see what happens at the end of the day.
The couple of tournaments we have out here, the same like 2 or 3 guys win them every time. So it's like,
yeah,
they had a channel cat tournament here just recently. That one I could have got on, but the guys who won, they actually traveled like 20 miles up to the chain, I think, to fish that.
Wow,
I found some really good channel cat spots on the chain.
What dude, we can see straight up your shorts, you weirdo.
Yeah, what the hell? What's the nut shot for?
Oh, I thought you wanted to see my feet.
Oh, I thought maybe you wanted Chad to guess your inseam.
I was looking at that. I was guessing 23 inches.
Shut your face mouth. Now the other dog, you're ringing the bell. Look at her back there.
Is that light you got outside already?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, it's daylight outside.
Well, it looks like it's just cracking here.
But
Are you close? Are you closer to the Ohio side of Indiana, or are you closer to Illinois? Chris?
Ohio.
You're closer to Ohio. Okay.
Barely. Just barely. I'm almost right in the middle.
it goes both ways. Like,
Oh, there's
it goes
Roger.
both ways on there.
All right. Hi, Roger. I'm going to get a refill. I'll be back.
All right.
Morning, Roger.
Good morning, morning,
What's up?
fellas.
What's up, Raja?
I'm driving. It's safer for me just to come in and chat than try to watch the screen.
Yeah.
I hear you.
Yeah, I tried that talk to text and chat a few times. It didn't work out real good for me either.
Well, it doesn't ever work out for me, but I do it anyway.
All
It's
right,
kind of like
let's go.
it's kind of
I
like
got to
Mad
take this
Lib.
other dog out real quick.
All right, let the dog do it.
Roger, you don't fish that tournament you shared out the other day?
Is that the Manchester one?
Yeah,
Yeah.
What's his name? Is it Zach? No,
No, it's Kevin
Kevin.
Walters.
Kevin. Yeah, Kevin Walters, his tournament.
Yeah.
Yeah, I saw
I'm
that a
gonna-
few weeks ago. I'm thinking about doing it. I might get back into them this year.
You know, well, depending. I'm actually debating on doing a few this year myself. Actually, most of the time I enjoy doing, fundraising tournaments, charity events, things like that.
Yeah.
They're not hardcore, but I think in order for me to push myself to the next level, I want to get into the mainstream tournaments and
Yep.
kind of test myself and push myself a little bit.
Yeah, down there, we went down there, me and Dee, when my truck broke down and we went down to Bama. We were talking
Right.
with, can't remember her name. She runs Cat Mama Industries, and then Lisa Haraway, and talking to her and them guys that
Jared.
down that way. I'm thinking about if the money ever gets right to where I know I can do it, from time to time. I'd like to get into that Northern Alabama trail that they do.
Yeah, that's Jerry and Robert.
Yeah, Jerry. But I'll probably get back into the Whisker City ones down here, and maybe the swap tournaments. And
We actually fished a whole series, a whole season, the year before last.
yeah, I remember that.
The River Rat crew. It didn't draw enough people. You'd show up on tournament day and there'd be 5 boats. You're like, man.
Yeah, and the local club tournaments are like that. I mean, even the Southwest Catfish Club in Whisker City, there's days you might have only 10 to 15 boats. And it's normally the same crew that shows up every month.
So Steve Mosley wants to know, should he worry about his lithium battery in this cold? Now, he's in a kayak.
That I can't tell you. I don't know nothing about lithium.
Yeah,
I mean-
I don't know 100%, but I've not heard that they do very well in the cold. And just like if when we're out there live streaming, just like how phones overheat in the heat, I feel like they drain faster than they do when it's warm.
Yeah, I was going to say I don't know. I don't know if it's the lithium thing. I don't think any batteries do well in the extreme cold.
I don't think they do either, but it seems like the lithium phone batteries in the cold seem to drain even if you got them on the charger the whole time. Where when it's warm, you have to worry about the overheat. And that's about it.
Now, one thing that I've noticed with doing the live streaming is since when we got our new phones and we went to 5G, it seems like when I'm streaming, my battery packs don't keep up with the charge.
Yeah. It's possible.
I think 5G is slower than 4G was.
I'm not a fan of this 5G stuff.
I seen something a while back. It depends on what 5G server, 5G you're on, what they actually have in your area. Apparently there's different levels of it. It's like how? It's like, why is 5G not 5G? Like, what's the difference?
Do they try to get you to pay different rates for?
I don't know. I don't even know what the temps are supposed to get up to today, but you're probably going to be fine. Steve, once it starts warming up, it'll be fine.
Only one way to find out.
If your beard forms icicles, form on your what? Come on, As is doing text to speech or something.
The ice beards are normal up here. As
Yeah.
long as they're not boogers, they're to be expected.
Yeah,
What's
that
up,
happens.
Haz?
What's going on, Has?
Both those dogs went outside. Now they're full of energy.
They got woken
Nice.
up.
It's cold out there.
I let mine out. They went right back to bed as soon as I let them in.
Florida
Yeah.
has.
They don't know what cold is out on a boat, do they, Roger?
Depends on who you're talking about.
Have.
It gets cold out there.
I'm talking about our enormous wind that me and you had with no steering.
Oh, yeah.
Come on,
Yeah.
brother. Stick with me here.
You gotta. I put new cables on that boat, and last couple mornings I went out and it was 20 or 21. They're stiff. They didn't lock up, but you can't force them.
Hey, does Zach or Skip have hydraulic steering, Roger?
Zach does
How is that in the cold?
much better than
It
the.
does. It doesn't get all stiff
Correct.
on them. Yeah.
It might get a little stiff, but I can't remember it ever freezing. And we normally use Zach's boat over mine. I don't remember it ever freezing, to be honest. Now I know Skip's has, and one of the tricks we used to get it straightened out was we put the trolling motor down, we got the boat pointed in a straight direction, and goose, floored it a couple times, and it got everything to break loose and free up, and use your trolling motor, make sure you're going in a safe direction. But, I can remember Skip's freezing up once or twice, but I don't ever remember Zach's freezing up. But mine's old, and I don't know if I've not got the proper gear or grease or lubricant in there or what, but I got to check into it.
Can you get a? I know, like on my motorcycles, you could lubricate the cables. They sell this cable lube that you actually, take one of the cables off, you stick it in there, and you shoot the stuff down in there, and that would work pretty good. Because whenever I would do that, after I did the first year of the Toys for Tots ride, which is in the middle of December, I'm like, this ain't working well. And I lubed all the cables up, and they were decent after that. Because I used to ride in all sorts of weather, not anymore.
I don't know, that would definitely be something to check out, because they're just cables. I mean, they're sealed they got seals on both ends to prevent moisture and water and stuff like that to get in there. But I'm sure that there's a way to fill them up or just something in there.
What's up, Eric?
Morning, Eric.
Eric, morning.
Eric.
Chad, so do you know what's wrong with your steering? Is it a cable? Or is it
Not
the box?
100%. J-Dog thinks it's the box, the
Okay.
gearbox.
Yeah, you can either lose a tooth off the gearbox or the cable adapter. Pay very close attention to how that goes together, because if the teeth are facing down, you'll have an opening where the two go together. If they're facing down, you need to make sure when you put it all back together, they're facing down, because I did not pay attention. I had no clue. I put it all back together. I took it out in the water, and my steering was backwards.
Backwards.
I turned
I
left.
remember that.
I went right.
Oops.
And all I had to do to correct it was take the cable off and
Switch them?
flip it over the other way. Like if
Good
the
morning,
cable was
Freezer
going
Brown.
out, whether the cable was going towards the stern or the bow,
Yeah.
that made the difference.
J-Dog's a professional. I'm sure he'll figure it out.
Yeah, he's
He's pretty smart fellow.
Mechanically
No.
inclined.
that's it right there. Not only is he he's got experience with boats, he's just mechanically inclined all around.
Yeah.
Freezer Bound Outdoors. What's going on?
Morning.
Yeah, I walked through the garage yesterday. I'm like, man, I think it's time to put this thing away. I'm going to clean the whole thing out and get it ready to sell, but it's kind of late to be washing that boat, but we'll figure something out. I'll use the scrub and bubbles to get it done.
Scrubbing bubbles.
Selling what boat?
My boat.
Did you get another one?
I hope so. We'll see what happens in the spring.
Oh, okay.
I got that boat to sell. I got a camper I got to sell, and then we'll think about a new boat. We'll see what happens.
What kind of camper you got?
I got a toy hauler.
Oh. Well, he's
It's
got
all the way up in Darlington, Wisconsin. So I got to either go get it picked up or have it brought back here before I sell it. And I got a place out there that stores it for me for $25 a month.
Can't beat that.
No, they want $200 a month here to store it. That's why it stays out there where we used to camp all the time.
Well, he's got a semi to pull all that stuff with. So,
Yeah. Well, when you got that Mark Richfish money.
yep.
I just try to be like my hero, Chad.
What, scrounging paycheck to paycheck?
Yeah, we wouldn't know anything about that.
Three plus one outdoors.
What's up, Larry?
Hey, Larry, good morning.
Man, I missed it. Those guys were smacking the crap out of some skipjack yesterday. I
Oh
was
my God!
doing,
Yeah, they were.
doing our tournament yesterday. I didn't get to watch any of it, but I got updates. The guys were killing it.
I was in and out of your tournament, getting stuff done around here, getting ready for our trip. But I watched most of it. I didn't even know they were live. That's what happens when I'm on my iPad, because you can't really have multiple tabs open on that thing if you're watching on the app.
Tell you what, catching skipjack like that, when they're on fire like they were catching them, that
Good
take that over catfishing any day.
It looked like a
Yeah,
lot of fun. I know that.
Oh, it's a blast,
It's a
man.
blast.
I love skipjack.
Never been. I want to go. How many did they end up with?
130 or something like that.
Wow.
What they
Yeah,
took
I
home?
thought he said 131 or 170.
131.
Yeah, that was crazy. I was like, man, they're set for the winter, man.
I was going to
Yeah.
say, that sounds like a lot of work putting all that up.
If you get a couple people working on it, everybody kind of like me and Zach do it. We have a rhythm, and once you get it going, it's actually not bad.
Nah. But it's fun, man. When you're sitting down there and like, especially when they're breaking the water all around you and everything else, you're like, which way do I throw? You're going to stay any way you throw it. Really, they're there. But like, especially at the dam, it's fun. Like when sometimes you'll see them in school come up. You can see them coming towards you, breaking
Oh,
the
yeah.
water. They go all the way up to the dam, and then all of a sudden you'll see them come back down. And you just throw them out, reel them in.
Is that true what they say? I think I seen some, what's his name? I forget Jay Null. He was talking about turn your sonar off in one video. That
A
sonar
lot of
scares
people
me.
believe a lot
Yeah.
of people believe that wholeheartedly. If when I go down to Wheeler Dam, there was a lot of commercial guys fishing there, and if you get Jane Hall was actually the first one that told me. He said, "Hey, I don't mind you fishing this close to me," but we were like 100 feet, 200 feet apart. He's like, "Just turn your sonar off." I was like, "Okay," but yeah, all those guys say that up there.
Well, he does it for a living, so you'd think he would know. Even if it's a superstition, whatever gets him, packed freezers, I'm sure he does.
I know that we've caught them. I mean, right next to the boat with the sonar on, the trolling motor on, and everything being spot locked. But is it rare to catch them like that? I don't know. But we turn ours off because why risk it if you're trying to catch bait?
Exactly.
I mean, you don't need it if when you're sight fishing most of the time anyway. Your eyes are following the current seams as they move or as the activity moves. That you're sight fishing.
On Spencer's last video, wasn't he catching gold eyes? That looked like some fun.
I didn't see it.
I was surprised they got that big. Also, I did see that Catfish Viking got onto a big one. I think Big Mike posted a picture of it, like a 52-pounder or something like that.
Yeah,
Nice.
I don't remember if it's 52 or 58, but yeah, it was a good one.
Nice.
Larry said the sonar didn't bother him yesterday.
Yeah, see, that's what I mean. That we've got them with the sonar on, but we usually just leave it off.
When I'm bait fishing, I never fill the bait bucket until I catch that first piece of bait. That's just me. I've filled the bucket before and no bait has bitten. That's rough. That is so rough. That sucks. Yeah, Tim, that's what they say. The sonar pings are what scares them away. Whether that's true or not, we don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'd
What do you
like to
think about
figure it out up here.
What'd you say, Chad?
I said I'd like to figure our skipjack out here because we have a very small time frame. It seems like in the spring up at the dam to catch them from the bank, and then try to figure out where they go after that. These creeks and other areas.
creeks and marinas, shallow, on like warm, just like we say on catfish. That's a sunny day, and you think the catfish might be shallow. The bait will be shallow, and the skipjack will be shallow. Backs of creeks and stuff too. You can still catch them throughout the year, but it gets tougher.
Exactly. I mean, if you think about it, same thing that you would track a, with catfish. Follow them shad, the minnows. So that's what they're primarily eating on is this baby shad. Find them.
Yeah.
Probably find them. I just never have even. I don't even try in the creeks very much.
I just
It's
go to
probably
the dam
dumb.
shed. 2 times a year they're in there.
I just got a picture from Zach. Pig in the boat. Big fish.
Good for
Nice.
them.
Nice.
Why is he not sending it to our group chat?
I don't know.
He doesn't want to share it with people like us that let you all down, I guess.
He doesn't want to hurt your feelings, Chad. Being kind.
Larry said it took Cody 1 to 2 hours to get them put up after we got home.
I bet.
Oh yeah. That's
Oh, it says took Cody and I 2 hours. I'm sorry.
That's not. I mean,
if he did it by himself in 2 hours, that's really good.
yeah.
What do you guys just back seal them, or do you guys do something else?
Vac seal.
Yeah, I know that trick where Hagen was talking about with the spines up, right, or spines down.
Mine's down.
Oh, my poor wife! I hear them puppies up there wrestling.
Kelly just went back to wrap Christmas presents.
Christmas. Bah humbug.
Let me know if she needs my address to send me mine.
I'm wondering if she had my address. Send me something. Yeah, Larry said dried them off and vacuum sealed them. So I guess that means I can be expecting my 60 in the mail in a few days.
Real nice. Really nice, Roger. Oh my God, that might be a state record. We're not going to share that though. We'll let. Oh, sorry. I thought I muted myself.
Yeah. Well, I think I will be on the water by noon.
Where you going?
I'll probably go to Tanner's.
Why you wait so late to go?
Well, I wasn't until I saw the 21-degree temperature. And then, like I said, I worried about something freezing up in the motor. Because I don't know.
The biggest thing is the two biggest things is make sure your motor's peeing. Sometimes you have to shut the motor off a couple times, like let it sit there and idle and warm up, and then shut it off. And when you restart it, sometimes that water pump kicking back on is just enough pressure to push, ice or move some water to get things moving again.
Yeah, that's a great point. Don't take off until you make sure you're peeing.
Well, I do that even in the summer. I'm just so paranoid about it. I'll start the motor and I watch it and I make sure I see it peeing. And
yeah, well, you definitely should do it in the summer too, because you never know when mud daubers might get up there and
Yeah,
but wintertime, definitely start it and make sure it's peeing before you do anything.
You know, my little four cycle, it's kind of bad because I need to get back in the habit of turning around and looking. I can actually hear it. The motor's so quiet at idle. I can hear it peeing behind me.
It's got that morning stream.
Yeah, that's what it sounds like. It's like, good morning, beautiful.
Oh, apparently I only get 59. They dropped one of mine back in. Well, good morning, Amy.
Good morning, Miss Amy.
That made me pain.
Every time I see
the
her,
other-
I kind of think about cake.
Yeah, she's so sweet. The other thing, Chris, is when you're done for the day, make sure you lower your motor down and drain all that water out. And most guys will start the motor out of the water just for a second. Just let it, that's it.
Yeah, let it
Shut.
that initial keystroke, it'll
Yeah.
kind of blow a little bit of air out, and it'll help get some of that water
Just
out.
the water that's caught in the impeller. That's why they do that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've got so my routine, once we're loaded, I get up and I drop that motor, and then that's draining while I'm putting straps on the boat, putting things away in the truck, and then I go back, raise the motor, and put the transom saver in. And I even try to keep that same routine in the summer months, just so I don't forget to do it when it needs to be done.
Yeah,
Mark
good
Roswell even
habit.
told me, he made me think about even when the air temps and say the low 40s and stuff, when you're leaving that ramp, like you go out and it's cold like it is right now, and it gets up to say high 30s, maybe about 40. You still want to make sure you're getting that water out, because that wind chill when you're driving, that air gets a lot colder. And make sure you're not just hooking up and going when you get off that water.
Black Mercury motors, like if everything's froze up in the morning, if you got sun coming, just use your Charlman motor.
Too.
Yeah, that makes
Just
sense.
get out there, set up somewhere in the sun and let that sun. It don't take much to get the Mercury motor stalled out. Black house.
Yeah. I like that about mine.
Yeah, that's a good point. With that black motor, it'll warm up.
Yeah.
Like I was saying, it gets too cold here too fast. It goes
Yeah.
from frigid weather, not having to worry about it, to locked up, to melt, to lock up, to melt.
That sucks.
Well, it is what it is.
I feel bad for myself because of the temperatures here. And like, man, I wish I could get down south where it's better fishing all year long. Then I hear that, I'm like, oh, isn't it too bad?
I wouldn't mind moving north, to be honest with you guys. If I had, the Chad Fields money and buy like a snowmobile or a side-by-side with tracks, I'd ice fish a heck of a lot more if, I had a vehicle for it. But it's like buying a second boat. It literally is. Those side-by-sides, once you get it all decked out with tracks, you're looking at $30,000. It's ridiculous.
Yeah, I won't even buy a four-wheeler because they want like $10,000 for them.
Yep. I actually sold my side-by-side to buy this boat. Had a side-by-side, 2 adult ATVs and a kid's ATV. Sold all of that stuff off.
When we first bought this house, I bought a side-by-side thinking I was going to use it for everything. And it just
What'd you do? Go check the mail with it?
Pretty much. Drive it around the yard. Thought I was going to take it deer hunting and all that fun stuff. And no,
Oh, we use the hell out of ours because where we kept our camper, there was like an 800-mile trail system up there, and it was a good time. It was like a booze cruise on land is basically what it was.
yeah.
Blues Cruise.
No, booze cruise.
I'll never forget. I went. It was kids were at school, and I drove to Louisville, and I bought that side by side, and I brought it home, and I had it sitting right at the end of the driveway when the kids got off the bus. And I thought for sure, when my son gets off the bus, he's going to go nuts, man. He's going to want to get in it, and he's going to want to drive it. And he walked right past it. And then my daughter was the one that was like, "Oh my God!" And she wanted to be in it and drive it and do all that stuff. And I was like, "Wow." If my dad would have bought something like that when I was a kid, I'd have had it broken a half hour.
Yeah, but most kids, Just because you're sitting in a Power Wheels doesn't mean that it's room for everybody.
Whatever, Roger. That wasn't funny.
That was
That
pretty
was fun.
funny. I gotta give Roger that one.
I thought it was pretty good.
Yeah, I did too, I have to admit.
Coco used to love that side by side. We'd let her out of the camper. She'd run right to it and say, let's go. She wouldn't leave that thing alone all day. She'd be going around it in circles wanting to go.
These
It was
gas
pretty
prices are killing me. I'm driving from Dayton to Columbus right now, and when I left Dayton, gas was $3.65, and I've got in the middle of 70 here, and it's $2.90, 75 cents cheaper down the highway
Yeah.
just a little bit.
That's ridiculous.
I'm checking my
Yeah.
gas prices again.
Telly and I see that all the time because, it'll be close to $4 here, and then we get down, like especially going down towards where Chad and J Dog are, and then it'll be 75 cents cheaper down there. And I'm like, I just don't get it.
Regular here is
Yeah.
$3.69 a gallon.
Remember though, we have like fuel barges that come up here, and it doesn't have to travel as far. They got to take it and drive like an 18-wheeler, 4,000 miles to get to the country road that your gas station's on, Chris.
Well, we got Badger Pipeline Terminal here, and they ain't got to move that fuel but a couple of miles. So it's the biggest fuel depot in the whole Midwest, and our prices are still insane. Thank you, Illinois.
Carolina Catfish. It says $2.90 there in South Carolina.
Yep. Well, I'm talking about 15 miles, 75 cents difference. And it's like this right here. These few gas stations right here on these certain exits are real low. And then as you keep going past them, they go back up again.
Are you like on the interstate, Roger?
Yeah. I'm on 70.
Yeah, interstate prices are higher. I think they're either gouging or just costs are so much more to have like a big gas stop. That's all I can think of. I'm leaning towards the first guess.
I would lean towards gouging.
Yeah.
Amy says her old Tahoe drinks it up faster than she can pump it in.
Yeah.
Morning, Ashley Brady.
I imagine.
Hello, Ashley.
You going, Chad?
David, do what?
Are you going?
Going where?
Fishing.
I'm still waiting on J-Dog to text me and tell me he's awake, so I can take his boat down there.
Ah,
I think you just show up and be in his driveway when he wakes
I
up.
don't just show up, or I would have done it yesterday.
there you go. Did you say Greenwell canceled on you today?
Yeah, he found out his wife had already made plans he didn't know about, so he had to cancel.
That'll do it.
Canceled for today, not yesterday.
Yep. We had a pretty close show yesterday. I really thought Chris was going to catch Bobcat in the tournament yesterday. He was on a roll.
Yep.
After the live stream ended, Bobcat and Anthony started sending me pictures. They started catching fish as soon as the live stream shut off. They caught one fish all day, and then as soon as the camera cut off, they started catching. And they looked like good fish, 20s.
Yeah.
That's usually how
Yeah.
it goes.
Yeah. Yeah, same thing happened to us on the Ohio there in our tournament last week. We all kind of stayed backstage and fished live for a little bit, and we all started catching fish. Like, well, that figures.
Yep.
I caught my biggest one of the day after right as everybody was leaving the stream, saying they were all saying bye after it was ended.
Yep.
Go figure.
When you had your panfish tournament, Chad, remember that? They
Yeah.
stopped biting, and then it was over, and we're backstage, and I'm like getting them in one after another. Not that I'd have competed with what Dockery was catching, but still, the bite just turned on. It was ridiculous.
Yeah, I might have to bring that tournament back this year. I didn't do it this past year. Slab methods.
That was a cold day, man. I remember shooting across that Pistaki Lake. I was freezing. All the walleye guys were just drifting across the flats over there. I remember going, oh my God, I hope it warms up. That was a nightmare getting in and out too. There was on a ramp that was like on a 45-degree angle. Every time I go to put my boat back on a trailer, it would sit on one of the guides. I'd have to back in, try to get it up. It was just a nightmare by myself.
Oh, we just got to wait on the fish.
Uh-oh.
57.3.
Nice.
Nice fish.
Now, why couldn't we get that last week?
Because we were live fishing. It doesn't happen for us.
Amy said, technically, as long as you show up with a bacon biscuit in hand, it is considered totally acceptable to arrive unannounced. That's the rules acting these parts anyways. But J-Dog doesn't like bacon.
No, that's true. He does. Get him a sausage biscuit.
I heard he likes sausage better.
Yeah.
Make sure it has pickles.
Make sure it has pickles. That's what Gary say.
Man, and they're fishing the exact same spot we fished last week for the tournament.
That's the way it goes.
Right up at the
Well, maybe I'll get out there before noon. Good morning, Chris M. Let's see, it's almost 8:30, 10. As long as I leave here by 9:30, I'll definitely be fishing before noon. And that's if I spend some time trying to find bait.
You guys ever launch your boats and not find bait?
But yeah.
That's horrible.
Yeah. Yeah. Last two times I went out. None. So the first day I caught one shad. And the next day I didn't catch nothing.
Yeah. Sometimes that creek, Tanner's Creek, is loaded with bait, but not very often.
Well, I ran into a guy out there that I saw him all the way down at, what's that other one you kept telling me to go into? It's like Harrods, or it starts with an H.
I
All the
can't
way down
remember.
by
About the one in Aurora.
Yeah. I saw him up in there trying to catch bait. And then I saw him in Tanner's, and then he went on past me in Tanner's, and he came back out of Tanner's, and he was everywhere, and he caught zero.
Yeah.
And I ended up giving him what chicken I had left because I was getting ready to leave just so he could go fish.
Yeah, that little creek that I was telling you, I kept saying, go in that creek, go in that creek. When I'm not catching anything down there by the granary or anything,
Yeah.
we'll go in there and drag you. You at least pull, typically a couple, fish or two or three out of that little creek. It's not very deep. I know that scared you. I seen you go up into it, and you're like, oh my God, it's shallow. The fish got to be deep. Like I turn around because Chad told me to go here, but
I went in that creek. Was it yesterday when we were on J-Dogs, or was it? I don't even remember what day it is. But anyway, I went up into that creek. You told me to go drag, but the wind was so bad I just couldn't keep the boat under control and didn't stay in there very long at all.
You got drift socks, Chris?
Yeah, but I don't use them.
Yeah, I know the feeling.
small water.
What's up, small water?
Small water. What's going on? Bugman, Chris M. Have a good day, Amy. Catfish and Freak. Big Wrench.
All right. Well, I appreciate you guys coming in. I think I'm going to end it and start getting stuff together, and I'll be on the water before noon.
Sounds good.
We'll keep an eye out for you. I wonder when the river rats are going live. I'll check them out while I'm cooking some
Yeah,
bacon.
I might reach out to them, and maybe I'll be lucky enough to just join them in a stream or something.
Yeah,
There you
they said they were going live, I thought, after stand day. So yeah,
After?
could be about that time.
Well,
time
they're
is
at the
stand
ramp
day?
already. What time's, yes, 8 o'clock,
Stand
right?
usually
My
what?
time?
Is it 9 to noon or 10 to 1 or something like that?
All right.
Oh, that's a ways away.
No, it's only like a half hour to Let's see what he's got. Hold on. Let's see what he's got pulled up here.
Small Water says, and to answer the question, it never gets too cold down here.
Yeah. He's always rubbing it in.
Yeah, Stan's going live in a half hour.
Okay. And River Rats is scheduled for 11 p.m. They got to fix that time, guys. It's 11 a.m., not p.m.
So that'll be noon at my time.
That's noon your time, yeah.
Yeah, maybe they'll allow me to come up and ruin their live stream with them.
Martin, what's up? All right, fellas, thanks for having me up, Chris.
Thanks for
Chad,
coming. I appreciate it.
Have a good day, guys. Drive safe, Roger.
Bye,
Chad.
everybody in chat.
Hopefully
See you.
taken care of.
And we're ending it now.